in tonight's show. We do know that we're going to have Roman and Edge on the show, of course. At Elimination Chamber, Edge made his intentions known. We know that Edge is gunning for Roman. He has chosen Roman. It will be Edge versus Roman at WrestleMania. So we know that we're getting that. Very excited to see where that story is going to go tonight. So Edge and Roman, we know they're on the show. Other than that, no matches have been announced. Now, that might have changed. WWE tend to tweet something out the hour before. So I will just jump over and have a look and see if they have sent anything out. But as I said, certainly earlier when I looked, there was nothing that had gone out. I can see that Conor is tweeting at the moment. Finn Balor sent a tweet out of a Conor figure and a Balor figure. And Conor has responded to that. So it looks like there's a bit of back and forth between Finn Balor and Conor McGregor. Could you imagine that match, by the way? Both of those are Irish. Both of those guys are Irish. I wonder if they know each other. I wonder if there's been any kind of communication between Finn Balor and Conor McGregor. I've never really thought about Finn Balor versus Conor McGregor. I am definitely thinking about Finn Balor, Conor McGregor right now. So that would be sick. That would be sick. Well, that properly distracted me. I wasn't expecting that. Rollins has pledged to destroy anyone who stands in his way. What does the SmackDown Savior have for tonight? Is that what they're calling him? The SmackDown Savior. So we've gone from the Monday Night Messiah to the SmackDown Savior. So there we go. The SmackDown Savior. Street Profits are on a mission tonight. Bianca Bel-Air is going to make her WrestleMania decision. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins are going to be taking on Sami Zayn and King Corbin. And the Mysterios are going to get a rematch with Otis and Gable. So there we go. WWE have tweeted out a couple of things in the past few moments. And there we go. Nothing crazy on there. And actually, they've been a little bit raw, haven't they? These past few weeks, SmackDown. They've kind of lost themselves a little bit, so hopefully we can get back on track tonight. I remember last week's show getting a little bit of criticism. People saying that they'd gone a little bit too raw for their liking, but these things happen from time to time. I can forgive them. But hopefully we do definitely get back on track tonight. Right, let's change a few things that I still need to set up, including the countdown clock. I hope everyone is well. I will jump into the chat in a second. Let me just set these few things up. Whatever happened to Tucker versus Otis, says Wither Rider. Do you know what? Honestly, there must have been some numbers. There must have been some analytics that just said it wasn't worth it. There must have... even just the thoughts of having those two going against each other and working a program, working a feud... I think Vince just fell out of love with the idea, to be honest. To be perfectly honest, even I'm not in love with the idea. I certainly am not sitting here thinking, oh, I wish they'd have done that Heavy Machinery feud. You know what I mean? Even I don't care. So I'm doing all right. I'm living all right without that. Days, you look like a hobo. Wow, there is a good reason for that. Bonyak, shout out to you. Brock is coming, says Promise Madhu. Days, I'm excited for Roman and Edge. Oh, dude, that is going to be fire. That is going to be so much fun. That is definitely a match. You have got, arguably, outside of Drew, the biggest heel and the biggest face colliding at WrestleMania. This is what WrestleMania is meant to be. You're meant to build up a monster heel and you're meant to build up a monster face, and then you collide them together. The problem with last year's WrestleMania was our one championship match was Goldberg versus Braun, right? Awful. Just awful. Like, Goldberg versus Braun. Braun doesn't... Braun isn't that kind of red hot baby face. So, like, no one was really, like, firmly behind Braun. Goldberg, I think, does get heat, but, again, I think people more just don't care, to be honest. Right, but he does definitely get some heat. But I don't even think he was positioned that much of a heel. I'm trying to think back to that feud, and I just don't remember much from it at all. Apart from the fact that it was meant to be Roman. And they changed it last minute to Braun. So, yeah, I can't even remember much from that build. I mean, it was just flat. That's what I remember it being, flat. Obviously, Drew Brock was better. The pandemic definitely got in the way of that. But I think the problem with Drew, the problem for me was that Drew's build was not very good at all. He won the Rumble seemingly out of nowhere. I understand he went in as a favorite. But his momentum, I mean, he'd won a few matches in December, but even Drew says his 2019 was awful. It was awful. It didn't go to plan. He was losing matches on a regular basis in 2019. So 2019 hadn't been a good year for Drew. December was going better. He picked up some wins. He went in as one of the favorites because people thought, is this the year they're going to pull the trigger on Drew McIntyre? And it was. But he didn't really go into WrestleMania as like this crazy babyface that everyone was rooting for. I think there was still a little bit of like, let's see how it goes. Brock is Brock. You know, people love to hate Brock. So, you know, that was fine. So, I mean, that match, it was okay, but the pandemic definitely got in the way. It is not comparable in any way to the size of Roman Reigns versus Edge. Like, I appreciate Edge might be struggling with momentum because he's been away for so long, but it's Edge. I mean, Edge, it's Edge. Do you know what I mean? Edge is a legend, Hall of Famer. Doesn't really need much momentum because he's got a legacy. He's already achieved so much. He's Edge. So, Edge, massive babyface, managed to come back against the odds. Came back, got injured again, came back again at the Rumble. People really behind Edge and hoping that he wins the belt, but he's got to go up against the best thing in wrestling right now. He has got to go up against Roman Reigns. And this is the match, man. This is the match. People asking me, who do you think wins? I don't know. I have no idea. I can see either person winning. I mean, I feel like it would make sense for Edge to win. It's WrestleMania. You would usually give the babyface the win, but it doesn't have to be Edge. Like, you could have Roman win that and stand tall, and there's an easy way to do it as well. Bring out Brock at the end. There's a very easy way to have Roman win. Roman beats Edge. People are booing, and then Brock's music hits. It's such a WrestleMania moment. Such a WrestleMania moment. Having Brock making his way down with Roman in the ring after he just beat Edge. That would be so good. That would be so good. That would be such a great way to end WrestleMania. So yeah, you don't have to have Edge win, but I feel like Edge will probably go into that match as favorite. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Bonyak says, I can't wait for the Escape Pod. Escape Pod on Tuesday is going to be fire. A big shout out to everyone that sent videos in for Tuesday. Your videos will be played on the Wrestling Escape Pod. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun on Tuesday. Febin says, Days, in his criticism of Elon Musk, Triple H said what WWE wants is Mania on Mars, which is completely insane and way off, considering where we are. Not a single human has landed there. I'm sure, I have no idea. I haven't seen that comment, Triple H saying they want to do Mania on Mars, but I think he's probably, I mean, without having seen that comment, I think he's probably more talking about the very far future. Like, I think he's more talking about the fact WWE like to be the first at things. Like, I think they were the first to have, like, their own network. I think they were one of the first, if not the first, to actually put on a big public event after 9/11. And they like to be the first at doing things then, and they love to shout about being the first. So I would guess that his comments are more like, we're not going to do it next year, but like when the technology is there, when people are frequently traveling to Mars, then we want to be one of the first to put on an event there. We want to be one of the first to put on a WrestleMania, because that's the kind of thing they look to do. So I would imagine his comment was more along those lines, but I haven't seen him say that. I've posted a tweet on Twitter, says Jordan Chat. Well, that's a good place to put a tweet, is on Twitter, in all fairness. Days, did you see the Yokozuna documentary? I did, Hasib. I thought it was awesome. I thought they did an excellent job. I thought talking to the family and getting, some of that kind of behind the scenes footage was incredible. And I'm really looking forward to the other ones in that series. Talking of documentaries, they have announced a non-WWE documentary for the network. It looks awesome. It's called Heaven, and it's all about this female wrestler called Heaven who competed and won in her weight class, some amateur wrestling competition, but she won against the guys. She beat the boys, and obviously, there was a buzz around it. I must admit, I never heard about it. I never saw the buzz about it. It totally passed me by. I don't remember anyone talking about it, but clearly people were, and clearly WWE have been inspired, and so they've done this documentary on it. So they're going to tell the backstory, the whole story of how she did it, what happened. I'm quite looking forward to it, but I'm probably more excited for them doing more non-WWE documentaries. I think there's real potential to tell some stories that are non-WWE. So kind of a bit like, Dark Side of the Ring, how they look at wrestling, but they don't just look at WWE. They tell like the Bruiser Brody story, and they talk about the UWF, and they talk about other promotion. I would love to see WWE kind of position itself now where it's putting out that kind of content. I think Dark Side of the Ring, difficult for them, of course, because a lot of the stories told were Owen and things like that, and they can't tell those stories because it would be seen as them kind of cashing in and maybe being a bit disrespectful. Benoit and I suppose those stories WWE can't touch, but there's enough stories out there that they can. Do you know what I mean? There's enough things that have gone down in wrestling. So there's enough stories that they can tell.
Jade and Denton is a legend. They donated £5 via a super chat. Triple H was annoyed at one of Musk's comments about the WWE, and he said, "Get a spaceship, he'll get the Performance Center. Triple H versus Elon Musk on Mars at WrestleMania."
She read that really fast to the point where I couldn't even follow it. Triple H was annoyed at one of Musk's comments about the WWE. He said, "Get a spaceship and I'll get a performance." Do you know what? I don't even care. I don't even care. Like, Elon Musk has said something about WWE and Triple H has fired a shot back. Pfft, who cares? Like, honestly, it's just petty rubbish. I'm not interested. So, but in regards to Mars, I still stand by what we said. They absolutely would want to be one of the first to put a show on Mars, the moon, wherever. Like, wherever they can be the first to do something, they will always look to do that. So, yeah, I could... it's crazy to think about, like, a WrestleMania on Mars. Would we ever have that? I honestly don't know, because I honestly don't know if we will ever set up a society on Mars. I don't ever know if frequent travel to Mars would be a thing. Would going to Mars be like going to Vegas one day? If it will be, then yes, I can see a WrestleMania there, because I could, if there is a community there and there is a way of recording what happens and bringing it back to the UK, 100 million %, I can see I don't know about a WrestleMania, but a WWE event from Mars, 100%. I've never been surer of anything in my life. They would definitely do it. Definitely. That is absolutely their remit. That is absolutely the kind of thing they love to do. And who knows? Going to Mars could be like going to Florida or going to Vegas. I could see a little community being set up there. I mean, we are talking hundreds of years in the future. Don't think I'm talking our lifetime, right? I'm talking hundreds of years in the future. Could they set up a little community? Could they set up, like, build a little dome, get oxygen into that dome and set up a little community, have, you know, a nightlife, have an arena. You know, if you could then go there and put on a show and record it and bring that recording back, and, you know, this is the first event to ever take place on Mars, in the Mars community. This is the first big social event. WWE would flipping kill for that opportunity. Let me there'd be a lot of companies that would. UFC would love to be the first company to do that, because that is something you can brag about for the rest of time. Do you know what I mean? The first company to put on a big social event on a different planet, like, the amount of PR you'd get out of that would keep a company going for years and years and years and years and years. So, yeah, I don't know. Not in our lifetimes, unfortunately. Mars at Mania. Imagine the logo as well. The logo would be sick. Jim says, watch Mars get a WrestleMania before the UK. Lol. Do you know what? That's right as well. Because the time difference in the UK won't work. But on Mars, oh, no, it's fine, yeah. In the UK, we're a few hours out. In Mars, we're a few months out. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I would love to see WWE on Mars. It would be good. Why are they doing WrestleMania on another planet? I'm confused. Don't worry about it, Austin. This conversation has left you behind. Don't worry about it. They should do WrestleMania in Bikini Bottom. Dude, if they could, they would. And you know they would. Days, you heard it from me first. SmackDown Live is on tonight. Nakamura is 41 years old. His birthday was 2 days ago. Well, AJ is 40. So, do you know what I mean? I think when AJ came to WWE, he was about 43. So, Nakamura has still got, you know, a good few years ahead of him. I could see Nakamura. Nakamura, I feel like, looks after himself. So, I could see Nakamura still competing in his late 40s. So, in all fairness, Nakamura could still have 10 years wrestling. Maybe even longer if he wanted. Maybe not with WWE, but I could see Nakamura have at least another 5 years with WWE. Easy. Maybe even longer. We all know what they'll do. They'll have it as a projector match on Mars. James Chadwick says UK always gets screwed out. Yeah, it's a really good shout by Jim Gore. I can see it being a case where it's going to be either the UK or Mars. They're like, right, we've got an option here. We're not going to do it in America. We'll either do it in the UK or Mars. Which one should we do? Then it goes to Mars. Are you looking forward to UFC? I am looking forward to UFC. I am probably more looking forward to UFC next week. UFC next week is, and I'm not just saying this because people that watch UFC know that what I'm about to say is true. UFC next week, not tomorrow, but next week, is one of the biggest UFC shows.
Vape Ross Vape is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat.
Huge.
Alistair Black and Bo Dallas are on Mars training.
Is that where they are? They're on Mars training right now, getting ready for the arrival. I must admit, this is not a conversation I was expecting. When I turned this stream on, I wasn't expecting us to talk about the idea of a WrestleMania on Mars, but let me be the first to say, 100,000% I can see it happening one day. As crazy as it sounds, couple of 100 years in the future, if, and it is a big if, there is a community there And getting there is, do you know what I mean? Like there's constant shuttles that go back and forth, and there's a community there. And there's, if you're going to have a community there, you're going to need some form of entertainment. Like maybe there is a hotel complex, maybe there is a casino and an arena, and maybe it is like Vegas. You know how Vegas is kind of out on its own, and people just go to Vegas. It's like a holiday destination. If Mars becomes that, and it's a big if, I do appreciate that. It's a massive if. But if Mars becomes that, and in a few hundred years, people are going there like they go to Vegas, or they go to Florida, or they go to Abu Dhabi, then yeah, yeah, definitely. What if wrestling doesn't exist in a couple of hundred years? Wow. Flip. Do you know what? The state of it. You might be right. We have had some really interesting conversations about wrestling and the future of wrestling. I think there is a future for wrestling. I really believe that. But I do think that the way forward is quite narrow. I feel like there is a way forward, but I think trying to find what that is difficult, to be honest. And I think this is, I saw someone talking about the supernatural stuff, right? Don't worry. No, I know what you're thinking. Oh, here we go. But don't worry. Okay. I'm not going to be laying into it. All I'm going to say is, and this might shock you, and I think I have said this before, it could be the right way forward for wrestling, right? Because I don't like it. It's certainly not what I want from wrestling, but it could be the right way forward from wrestling because the people know that it's not real wrestling, and there's no way of going back now, right? There's no way of putting that back. Like, people know, unless you're going to get everyone to forget at the same time, like Men in Black style. Like, the cat is definitely out of the bag. So wrestling needs to figure out now, what is its future? How does it survive for the next few hundred years? And I mean, my gut feeling is that we do like the Roman stuff, like attention to detail, realistic, great storytelling, compelling characters. I really think as well, and you might think I'm wrong. I don't think that you can do something on TV and then be a different person off TV. I understand the cat is out of the bag, but I think there is something really special about watching your favorite stars on TV, believing in them, supporting them, and having a bit of distance. I think the problem with social media is that you're now seeing the real people as well, and you're seeing their tweets as well. I think we've got to stop that. I really think we've got to stop that. I understand the cat's out the bag, and I understand that these are actors, if you will, right? These are performers, and they're different in real life. But I don't think we need to see their real lives. I think that can get confusing. I think that, if you've got someone like, let's take Alexa Bliss, for example. Alexa Bliss is doing all this dark stuff where she's being possessed and all this kind of stuff. I don't think then you can go onto her Instagram and see her doing bikini shots and talk about save the whales or whatever, right? I kind of feel like wrestling has got to protect itself again, and it's got to go back to a little bit more of the mystique. I understand that you've got like TV shows and there's actors and all that kind of stuff, but I think with this, where you're like really rooting for characters and you're supporting them every week and you're hearing about how they grew up, and the lines are very blurred, aren't they? They're very, very blurred. Like when someone wins at WrestleMania, when Bayley wins at WrestleMania, then you'll see Bayley as a kid. And you'll see her with the WWE merchandise, and you'll see Bayley when she met like wrestlers, and you'll see Bayley, as she kind of grew up and as she came through. I don't think then you can really have Bayley going on to social media being all nice when she's a heel. Like the Iron Sheik isn't doing that. Even the Iron Sheik is not doing that now. The Iron Sheik is going on calling everyone an effing jabroni every single day. I think if you're a heel, you've got to be a heel. If you're a face, then you've got to be a face. And I don't think that blurring of the lines is helping, to be honest. I really think that they need to go, just rein it back a little bit. A little bit. I kind of think if you want to, I think how Undertaker has done it is the perfect way. I wish that superstars would follow Undertaker's lead. So Undertaker lived his gimmick, didn't reveal anything, but then all the documentaries came out once he had retired, once he was done. And looking behind the scenes wasn't going to hurt his character or reveal anything or damage any storylines or confuse anyone. It all came out after he was finished. And that's, for me, the right way of doing it. So, but he stayed in character all that time. Now, I know social media wasn't around, right? But I kind of think that social media should be used as a tool to help push stories. Do you know what I mean? Bailey does it. This is where the confusion comes from, because sometimes people are tweeting as themselves and going on Instagram as themselves. And then you've got other people going on Instagram that are trying to push stories along. And it's all like, you never quite know who you're like. Bailey is calling out Michael Cole on social media. Do you know what I mean? But then equally, you've got some heels that are acting like faces on social media. It's a mess. This is what I'm saying. Wrestling is a mess. It doesn't quite know what it wants to be. It doesn't quite know. Now the cat's out of the bag. What do we do? How do we... if I was Vince, I would clean all of this up. I'd be like, you are your characters on social media, okay? You are your characters. And do you know what? Maybe that's why he's cut back. Oh, well, it's not. We all know it's not. Like, I was going to say, maybe that's why he cut back on the cameos and think it's to do with money. Even I'm not stupid enough to think that he's trying to protect the business, right? It's definitely to do with money. But yeah, I can't say I disagree, to be honest, because I kind of think, like, do cameos if you want, but you're doing them in character, right? You're doing them in character. You have a Twitter, but you're doing it in character. If you do meet and greets, you're doing it in character. I kind of think that's really important. That's how wrestling always was. And all of these tools should be used to get you over. They should be used to, strengthen the connection, but strengthen the connection with the characters. So that's what I would do. I would use social media better than how WWE use it, which is, a crazy criticism considering they're one of the biggest social media machines in the world. But I don't think they use it perfectly. Maybe at times they do, but I kind of think that's definitely something that needs a bit of clarity. But so does wrestling in general, because you've got normal storylines running with supernatural storylines, just like they just don't know what the right way forward is. That's the truth. They're just trying a lot of stuff to try and figure it out. So, but social media is a very, very interesting conversation, and we could spend a long, long time talking about it. Jason says, R.I.P. Josephus, a.k.a. the question mark. Yeah, let's not spend a long time on this either. We just did a members-only stream, and I kind of really spoke on there about how that really distracted me yesterday. So I do want to spend a moment talking about question mark and Josephus. Many of you watching this won't have watched NWA. NWA obviously was an organization back in the day that looked after all of the territories. So kind of in the 70s, 80s, more 70s and 60s. I think they started in the 40s. So after World War II, all the way up till early 90s, you had the territories. And that meant that every state had its own wrestling, basically. Wasn't that clean. A few kind of wrestling promotions spanned different areas, so it's not as clean as saying like Florida and Georgia and all these different places. It's not quite as clean as that, but basically all these different areas had their own wrestling promotion. The North East was WWE. But then, you know, you had like Mid-South Wrestling and you had Florida Championship Wrestling from Florida. You know, you had all these different promotions. And NWA looked after them all, basically, made sure that no one overstepped their mark, made sure there was one champ that went around all the different territories. And kind of they were the umbrella. But as WWE got bigger and more powerful, that all fell apart. And so the NWA didn't know what it was, basically, in the 90s. Kind of bounced around a little bit. And the past few years, it's had its own show on YouTube. And it was awesome. It was brilliant. Thunder Rosa, Nick Aldis, Eli Drake, Ricky Starks, Eddie Kingston. They were all on NWA Power. And we watched it and we loved it. And it was a brilliant show. We watched it every Tuesday. And one of the stars was called The Question Mark. And he never spoke. He came from Monrovia. And I honestly, thinking about it, would say we probably spoke about him and Monrovia more than we did anything else on that show. I had conversations on Twitter with him. And he was a massive part of that show and really enjoyed his character. And he genuinely sadly passed away. The Josephus, Joseph, the person that played that character, just out the blue, very young, must have been in his early 40s, something like that. Still don't know the reason, what the condition was, why he passed away. But I mean, like, this was out of the blue, like Brody's passing was out of the blue. And it was a big shock. And honestly, yeah, I mean, it made me really kind of stop yesterday. I just kind of really was so distracted.
Jason Smith is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat.
Awful. Jason Smith, shout out to you. Appreciate the support, dude. So, yeah, I did want to take a moment on this stream to, you know, pay my respects to Question Mark. You know, rest in peace to him. And, of course, you know, pay my respects to his family and everything. There is a GoFundMe that you can support for his family. He does leave a little boy behind. The wrestling community is always very giving when it comes to these times. And certainly anyone that was watching NWA will know how big of a part he was on that show. And, yeah, it was tough, man. It's a sad news. Really sad news. There's nothing I can say about it that more than what's been said. Basically, it's really important as well because, like, I don't want to be one of them stan accounts. I don't want people thinking that this has knocked me for six or, do you know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry for your loss, all that kind of stuff. It's not that at all, right? I'm not one of these stan accounts that blows things out of proportion. So. But it did distract me. That's the truth. Yesterday, I really struggled to think about anything other than that time and the NWA and Power and how much I miss it and how much I wish it came back and how when it does come back, it won't be the same and how people like Thunder Rosa have gone on to bigger and better things with like AEW and Eddie Kingston and Ricky Starks and what will it be like when it comes back and the community that we had and Question Mark, obviously, of course, and Aaron Stevens and, you know, Nick Aldis. And I was really, oh, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I was thinking about all of that time and, yeah, it really distracted me and I miss it. And I wish that it would come back. And I'm sure it will. And I'm sure it'd be great when it does. But, yeah, that one hit me easily as hard as the Brody one. Easily. And it was such a shock. So if you do want to support his family, there is a GoFundMe. And obviously thoughts with them at this time and his friends. And yeah, awful. I did have that down to speak about. The other things I had to speak about, there are Observer Awards. Now, amazingly, we've spoke about so much. We haven't actually got a great deal of time, but I did want to talk about the Observer Awards because they are a little bit controversial. They are very AEW heavy. Now, I don't mind the fact they're AEW heavy. I don't agree personally with some of them. So, for example, we were just talking about this on the member stream. The Lou Thez Ric Flair Award. This gets given to the wrestler, right? When you talk about, like, in the Attitude Era, the wrestler was Stone Cold Steve Austin. When you talk about the 80s, the wrestlers were Hogan and Ric Flair. When you talk about the 50s, the wrestler was Lou Thez. When you want to talk about the 60s, you'd probably be talking Bruno Sammartino. Harley Race in the 70s. The Funks. These are the names that you think of. You want to talk about recently, you've got to be talking about Tanahashi. You've got to be talking about John Cena. Like, we're talking about the names that define wrestling. So, who defines wrestling in 2020? Who was, during the pandemic, who was the wrestler? And it is worth bearing in mind there was no New Japan. New Japan did shut down for most of the year. It is also worth remembering that Roman was obviously out for quite a while. So I don't know that you can say Roman. So I suppose in a way you are very limited with your options. So that's worth bearing in mind. So you are, in a way, looking at AEW and WWE. The person that got it was Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley was the winner of the Lou Thez Ric Flair Award. And I disagree. I said on the member stream, and I'll say it here as well, and I have no problems with people disagreeing with this, okay? Because I understand that it is subjective and it is an opinion. So I have no problems with people disagreeing. But I do not see any excitement for Jon Moxley. I don't see people tuning into AEW or being excited for AEW because they want to see what Jon Moxley is going to do next. His title reign, I thought a lot of his matches were passable. I would struggle to tell you any great Jon Moxley matches in AEW. There's matches that people do buzz about, but I've got to be honest, I didn't rate them. I didn't think they were all that great. Like his death match that he had against Omega, I didn't think was very good at all. I didn't even think it was a very good death match, to be honest. Even though that's not my favorite style of wrestling, even if it was, I didn't even think it was that good. So I kind of feel that Jon Moxley is a decent name. I think he's someone that has had a championship run. I think he was he is a big name in AEW. But to say he is the wrestler, I struggle. But equally, who would you give it to? I mean, do you give it to Drew? Did Drew have that much of a better year? Would you give it to The Fiend? Did The Fiend have that much of a better year? I mean, you can't really give it Roman because he wasn't around. Would you give it to Braun? I don't think you would. I wouldn't. I'd have a bigger problem if they'd given it to Braun. So, I mean, do you give it to be honest, I would be looking at giving it to maybe Bayley. I think Bayley had a better year than Jon Moxley. I think Bayley was guaranteed ratings draw. I think that she did a brilliant job. She was women's tag champion, Bayley Doss straps. I think she really found herself with this heel turn. I think that Bayley deserved to get that recognition. So I don't know if it has to be a guy. I mean, in 2021, in 2020, 2021, I don't know why it would have to be a guy. But I'd give it Bayley. I think Bayley. But it is a sorry state of affairs when you go, well, if it's not Jon Moxley, who would you give it to? And then you struggle. I don't know. Would you give it to Brody Lee out of, as an honor or something like that? I mean, was there a bigger star that people spoke about, or did anyone have the same impact as when Brody passed away? Maybe that's not what the award is for, but I kind of feel that 2020 is such a weird year where you can't go with New Japan and you can't go with certain people. Maybe you would have to look at something a bit different. So For me, Bailey, Brody Lee, I kind of think those two names would come to mind. Drew, maybe. I don't know if Drew is like, yeah, definitely. I don't get that vibe. Yeah, he's definitely better than Jon Moxley, or he definitely deserved it more. But I just know that when I saw it, I was like, that can't be the best. Jon Moxley we can't be saying that he is Stone Cold. You know what I mean? We can't be saying that that is the state of wrestling. 2020, Stone Cold Steve Austin is Jon Moxley. So, agree or disagree, I don't mind. It just doesn't feel right to me. Most outstanding wrestler. So this is, I think, more performance-based. More like because of their work. This one went to Kenny Omega. Tag Team of the Year went to the Young Bucks. Best on Interviews went to Eddie Kingston. Promotion of the Year was AEW. Best Weekly TV Show was AEW Dynamite. Pro Wrestling Match of the Year. Now, I do agree with this. And this was my match of the year, in all fairness. So, no criticisms here. Young Bucks versus Hangman and Kenny Omega at AEW Revolution 2020. Fair play. That was the match I would say was the best match of the year as well. The United States Canada MVP, of course, is Jon Moxley, considering he got the big prize. The Japanese MVP was Tetsuya Naito. The Mexican MVP was Rey Fenix. Europe MVP was Volta. No disagreement there. The Hodge Award, the Danny Hodge Award. So Dan Hodge. So this goes basically to the best non-heavyweight. So someone that's, not the biggest guy, but someone that is just the best. Just really they're the best, but not at heavyweight. It went to Takahashi from New Japan. Women's Wrestling MVP. Actually, I didn't even see this. This is the first time I'm looking at these awards. I'm reading them out for the first time. Had no idea, but he did give Women's Wrestling MVP to Bayley. I completely agree with that. I would have gone a step further and given her the Lou Thez Ric Flair Award. But at least he recognised that she was the best women's wrestler. Best box office draw, Conor McGregor. Which is a bit weird, considering he only had one fight in 2020 against Cowboy Cerrone, and it did draw okay. But, well, I suppose in comparison, what other events did we get? I suppose that might have been the biggest, in all fairness. Was there anything bigger than Conor's fight at the start of the year? Probably not. Maybe Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Did that draw bigger than Conor versus Cowboy? Don't know, but he won best box office draw. Feud of the year was Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Most improved went to Britt Baker. Most charismatic went to MJF. The best technical wrestler went to Zack Sabre Jr. The Bruiser Brody Award. This goes to Best Brawler. That went to Jon Moxley. Best Flying Wrestler was Rey Fenix. Most Overrated, Bray Wyatt. Oh, I never saw that. Do you think, chat? Do you think? Let me know what most overrated. I'll read it again. Most overrated winner, Bray. Do you know what? These awards are all right. It turns out that I don't disagree. It turns out he's redeemed himself. Most underrated, Ricochet. Hang on. Rookie of the year, Pat McCarthy. He hasn't got a clue what he's on about. He's one idiot. What an idiot. I agree. Absolute trash. What is he on about? Oh my God, he's lost his mind. earn Rookie of the Year. He only had 2 matches. 2 matches. Pat, 2 matches. McCarthy, Rookie of the Year. Oh my God. What an idiot. I'm as angry as you. I am as angry as you guys. I can't believe this. What? Oh, he gives with one hand and takes away with another, doesn't he? Best non-wrestler went to Bray Wyatt. I'm joking. Went to Taz. Best TV announcer went to Excalibur. Worst TV announcer went to Michael Cole. Best major wrestling show went to AEW Revolution. That's interesting that he gave it that instead of Wrestle Kingdom. Worst major wrestling show went to Super Showdown. I think we can all agree with that. The best wrestling maneuver is Kenny Omega's One-Winged Angel. The most disgusting promotional tactic was WWE firing people during a pandemic, during a year where they were setting profit records. That does deserve to win. Worst TV show was WWE Raw. Worst match of the year. Ooh, get ready, community. Get ready. It is going to go off like fireworks. Worst match of the year. Braun Strowman versus The Fiend. The swamp fight from the horror show at Extreme Rules. That is Observer's worst match of the year. Worst feud of the year. Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. Worst promotion of the year, WWE. Best Booker, Tony Khan. Ah! Tony Khan, Best Booker. Oh, promoter of the year, Tony Khan. Best gimmick, Orange Cassidy. Worst gimmick, The Fiend. So conflicted with these awards. Best pro wrestling book. The Young Bucks killing the business from the backyards to the big league. So the Young Bucks book was the best wrestling book. Best documentary was the Dark Side of the Ring episode on Owen Hart. And that's it. I bet people are melting down right now. I had no idea, like straight up, 100, totally honest. I hadn't read those awards until I just read them. I swear on Mama Daisy's life, right? I absolutely swear. I don't know how I can get that message across, right? I swear on Mama Daisy's life. I swear on Kia Days. Yeah, Kia, the dog, my beautiful dog. I swear on their lives, and I do not do that just flippantly. I had not seen those awards till I just read them out. I had no idea. All I saw was that Wrestling Observer had come out with awards, and the one that I saw that I just read out on the members stream was the Jon Moxley one, and that didn't sit right with me. It didn't sit right that Jon Moxley. The only thing I would say is when you do break it down, you do go, who else is there? Kind of a thing, you know? So I hadn't seen them. Some of them I agree with. I agree with best match. Some of them I don't agree with. I should imagine that was quite the topic earlier today on Twitter. I haven't seen people talking about it yet. I don't know if people are even taking it that seriously. But I would imagine that is quite the topic. Joaquin says, Days, it's an AEW person that has written this. Well, I believe it's Dave Meltzer, who is renowned as an AEW person. I think his appreciation of AEW is well documented. So, a lot of those I don't agree with.
Joaquin Iribe is a legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chat.
Joaquin?
Days and Air, your person wrote this.
Mm-hmm. Meltzer and the Observer people. We spoke about Heaven, didn't we? We spoke about that. How long have we got? 7 minutes to go. I like the Bray-Braun feud and their swamp match, says Austin. I think Roman is going to win at WrestleMania. I was watching Snooker Days. What about Randy
Matthew
Orton?
Johnston is a legend. They donated £5 via a super
That's a good
chat.
shout.
AU is trash. WWE is the GOAT.
That's a good shout. Randy Orton is a very, very good shout. Randy Orton had a fantastic year, didn't he? His storytelling with Edge was excellent. And then, you know, his turn on Ric Flair, and he went for the title in his feud with Drew. Yeah, Orton feels better for that award than what Jon Moxley does. So, yeah, that's a good shout, Hasib. That's a good shout. Days, can me and Slapjack get a shout out? Yes, shout out to you, Sapphire and Slapjack. How did Retribution not win Worst Gimmick? That is true. That is true. How didn't they win Worst Gimmick? That has been an absolute car crash. I'm just hoping they split up, man. I'm just hoping they split up. Orton was awesome in 2020, says Butterspark. Meltzer is a supreme AEW mark. This isn't surprising. Worst match of the year should have been Moxley versus Hager. Days, Orton should have won that Fez Award. Performance of the year and best on interviews. Best American Canadian wrestler. Thoughts? Best on interviews. Do you know what? I mean, maybe. The best on interviews, I'm not sure. Because Edge did some great promos. I do think Eddie Kingston was good, but Eddie Kingston wasn't around for the whole year either, was he? I've got a feeling that Eddie Kingston came into AEW relatively late. So how can he say Eddie Kingston instead of someone like Edge? I don't understand. Because you can't say Edge wasn't around for the whole year, so he can't win it. Because neither was Eddie Kingston. So I don't get that. Orton, I think, is an excellent suggestion for the Thez thing. I would definitely have supported that. And I think if he is going to win the Thez Award, which is like the award, then, he would have to win US MVP as well. So, interesting. I'd still be looking at Bailey, Orton, either of those, I think, over Moxley for me. Moxley really seems worthy of an award named in honor of Luthez. Lol. Are you kidding me? We had a tooth and nails match, but it's Bray Strowman that is considered to be the worst. Tooth and nail was not great. Did you see Roman turning face in a couple of years, and will he be cheered? I can see Roman turning face. I don't know that it'll be in a couple of years. I'm hoping it's going to be way into the future, like at least 5 years, if not longer. I think people turning face, then turning heel and flipping all over the place. I don't like them doing it too often. I think you've got to keep it quite disciplined as to, look at how much of a joke it made Big Show out to be, the fact that he kept flipping back and forth all the time. So I think you've got to be very disciplined as to keeping people face and heels. I like the fact they kept Roman a face for, they tried it. It became apparent they needed to turn him. Even then they didn't. They kept trying. Now they've turned him. I want him to stay this way for a long time. No, longer than a couple of years, to be honest. I think really establish him as the heel now of this generation and build up some faces to try and take him down. So, yeah, I think they could switch him back, but not for years and years and years. Even in a couple of years, maybe see where we are, but it's working, isn't it? It's just working. It just works. It's just brilliant. And honestly, I don't know when we'll get the Roman Rock match. Will it be at next year's WrestleMania? I hope so. But then when will we do Roman versus Big E? There's lots of matches for Roman as a heel. So, switch him, but no time soon. Days, I do agree Fiend deserves everything he got. P.S. I just said this to annoy those little fireflies. thoughts. Less I've annoyed the Fireflies many times, so I don't know. I'm just going to leave it. I've said everything I need to say. When is it coming on? In a couple of minutes. We are waiting for SmackDown. We're just at commercial break. Dark is over SmackDown as the best show. Oh, I think SmackDown's better. I mean, in fairness, I don't watch Dark, so I can't really comment. But from what I see, it just tends to be established names going over emerging talent. I mean, I don't think there's much in the way of storyline on Dark. Lone Star Friend, shout out to you. 60 seconds away. Yeah, we are building. We are building our way towards SmackDown. Not much in the way of a preview tonight. Not much in the way of matches or anything too tasty. But we do know we're going to get Roman and Edge. So let's see. Right, here we go. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Right, no idea what we're starting the show with. Let's jump over. So, WWE have said Bel-Air is going to make her decision tonight. I'm expecting that to be Sasha. Street Profits are taking on Sami Zayn and King Corbin. Don't really care about that, if I'm being honest. And the Mysterios is going to be taking on Otis and Gable. I don't really care about that either. I think SmackDown is better than those two tag matches. So, don't know. Let's see. Barry, shout out to you. Oh, we're starting with Roman. I just saw someone ask who is your favorite wrestler, and well, he's making his way down to the ring right now. I think what Roman has been doing has been awesome. Coming out with Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. Roman Reigns is going to have plenty to say here. Obviously, he was attacked by Edge. The tribal teeth, says Kyle. The tribal teeth making his way down to the ring. Right, pyro going off. Days, if Big E continues to have success with the Intercontinental title, how about Big E versus Roman at SummerSlam? Yeah, you could do it. I don't know if it might be a bit soon. You could do it. I remember last year when Roman won the belt, I said I would have Roman lose the title at SummerSlam at the earliest. So you could do it, but I would still wait. For me, he beats Edge. I think Edge is a legend who has worked hard to get back. Keeps getting setback after setback after setback. I'm sure it would be a feel-good moment for Edge to win, but there's so many feel-good moments out there. You know, it's going to be a feel-good moment when Big E wins. So we've got to pick and choose our feel-good moments, and I think Edge is at the point where he's in the Hall of Fame, he's an absolute legend. He can sacrifice himself, if you will, at WrestleMania for Roman, and ultimately for whoever beats Roman. Don't forget, everyone that lost to Undertaker contributed to making the streak feel bigger and more important. So everyone that lost to Undertaker contributed to making the streak. And Edge could contribute to making Roman's championship reign feel bigger, so that when it ends, it's huge. It is a big moment. Your championship reign is only as good as the people you beat. So I understand people will disagree. I understand there's people out there that want Edge to be champion. I understand that it's a controversial thing to say, but I would keep it. I think it's working. Look at the ratings. SmackDown, 2.2 million. Well ahead of Raw. Well ahead, nearly 500,000 ahead of Raw. So SmackDown is working. It's regarded as the better show. And I wouldn't rock the boat, man. Keep it on Roman. Build up Big E. And maybe you're right. Maybe SummerSlam. Maybe SummerSlam is the time to pull the trigger. I think when we do pull the trigger, you're going to want people there. We will have people there at WrestleMania. So maybe they'll be tempted. But just looking at Elimination Chamber, we're seeing that Daniel won the Chamber. There was that great moment when he put the crossface on Roman. And he managed to overcome that, get out of that. And here he is pounding away on Daniel Bryan. Daniel, who didn't have much of a chance, falling short. SmackDown should have won Best Show easily, but, you know, it's Dave Meltzer. Days rumors are that Goldberg is coming back at Fastlane, says Daz. Edge does not or will not wrestle enough to keep that title for long, in my honest opinion, says BBB Yipsy. Zachary says, I'm wondering if Roman will get booed at Mania. Oh, do you know, that's a really good question, because I kind of feel like people respect the heel turn and can see that he's doing some really good work. And so I think the fans will boo him. I think putting him in there against Edge is the right move, because Edge will definitely have the support. I think people, casuals in particular, will want to see Edge win. I just really appreciate the work that Roman's been doing, so I want Roman to keep doing that. But I think most people will be behind Edge. So, yeah, I think he will be booed. When hasn't he been booed? He's always been booed. I think the only time he didn't get booed is when he revealed he had leukemia and he was leaving. That was it. That was probably the only time. Maybe when he first came back. Anyway, let's see what he's got to say. Standing in the ring with the blue universal over his shoulder. I don't think it's a secret. SmackDown needs me. It needed me. SmackDown needs me. Elimination Chamber needed me. The tribal chief saves this place over and over. Enough with the piped in chants, says Birrett. He said he smashed Daniel Bryan. He did. The most exciting ass whooping of the year, of the decade. Paul Heyman, look at his face. He's got a bit Paul Bearer. Oh, yes. My Roman. He's above parties. He operates at a higher level. If it's not perfect, then it's not me. And do you know why Elimination Chamber wasn't perfect? It wasn't perfect because of one man. Edge. Ugh. Ugh. How dare he? You got one, Edge. This is good as always. Why does Paul look at Roman like that? Respect. Admiration. If it's not perfect, then it's not me, says Lone Star Friend. Great quote. How can anyone not like a great heel? They sell and make wrestling better. Yeah. Can't have great faces without great heels. Back out. Scram. Get out of here. Go home. So he says, I'm going to give you an opportunity to go. Get out of here. You're a father. You're a husband. I don't want to hurt you. I like what you stand for. I appreciate your legacy. I don't want to hurt you. Is there a better promo than Roman right now? I don't know if there's a better promo than Roman. His promo. Do you remember when he was doing the suffering succotash stuff that he was being made to say? Hey, here's Daniel. Daniel Bryan's coming out, and this is good because he definitely never got his opportunity. So Daniel, I wonder if we get Daniel Roman at Fastlane. I mean, we will end up with Roman Edge, of course, but Daniel coming out. He's not in wrestling attire. He's not wearing his shirt either. He's just wearing a black t-shirt. Nearly perfect. Daniel's got a problem with Roman. I had to come out. From my perspective, I agree. You deserve to be celebrated. Oh, I've heard some rumblings. There's a few people that think different, Roman. Shout out to Capsman09. So Daniel says that there's a few rumblings backstage. People are saying that you're not a real champion at all. So he's trying to rile up Roman. And as we said, I wonder if this will lead to a match at Fastlane. Samuel says, do you remember what happened the last time Daniel called someone a coward? Nkrumah Edward says, tell Daniel to stop crying like a baby. Put on his big boy pants. So Daniel says, why didn't you give me a main event spot? Would that have given me too much time? In all fairness, that's how I thought they were going to do it. I didn't realize the match was going to start straight after the Elimination Chamber. I'm not sure Daniel did as well. Devilano Robinson, shout out to you.
Devilino Robinson is a legend. They donated $1 via a super chat.
Hope you are well. Okay, so here we go. 1-on-1. You and me for the Universal after Fastlane. I hope Roman just jumps in and goes, no. No. Dun-dun, dun-dun, and then he walks off. Jey Uso's like, all I hear is a bunch of excuses. You lost. If you want to go to the head of the table, you got to go through me. Daniel J. tonight. Roman stepping forward. He towers over Daniel. After what I did to you. You really want me to hurt you again? Oh, out of nowhere, Jey Uso attacks Daniel. Throws Daniel out of the ring. Over the barricade. Roman laughs. He's enjoying what he's seeing. Jey Uso dealing with Daniel Bryan. And that's it. The music hits and they walk away. If Jimmy returns, I want him to attack Jay, says Nobfreeze. Magic trick. I made him disappear. Well, they're loving that. Someone asked John Moxley recently about the possibility of AEW WWE doing something together, and he said, no way. Oh, thank God. Thank God there's someone out there with some common sense. Okay, so Bianca's going to make her decision tonight. We've got Street Profits against Sami Zayn and King Corbin. Is there a dog? Oh. Here's Adam Pearce. Here's Edge. Shane. Oh, he's got an Andre the Giant shirt on. That's cool. And he's got a man bun. Edge says we need to talk. So we go to our first commercial break. Great segment. Gripping segment. Didn't know where it was going to go. Didn't know who was coming out. Didn't know if it was going to be Edge. Didn't know if it was going to be Daniel. Daniel came out. He wants the one-on-one match at Fastlane. The only downside is that we know how that's going to go. It's a bit of a shame, in all fairness. We know that it's going to be Roman and Edge. I can't see Daniel getting involved in that. I can't even see that being a triple threat, to be honest. So, yeah, it kind of makes it a little bit irrelevant, but yeah, there we go. That's where we are. A progressive ad. Edge, yeah, good start to the show. Yeah, I mean, it's when the show is only 2 hours long, when the first segment, the opening promo, takes up like, what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes with adverts, and it's consistently, it's gripping, it's entertaining, and you don't quite know where it's going to go. It really helps the show. It lays a real solid foundation. And that's, you know, they do that so well, week after week after week after week. Follow it up with a great first match. And before you know it, you're already like a third of the way through the show, if not more. So it is easy to put on a really good SmackDown. Certainly to start it off on the right foot. And they have found a way of doing that consistently now. So hopefully whatever this first match is going to be decent. And yeah, then we'll be well on our way. SmackDown again with a great beginning, says Nico Guy. Can Roman just stop being so good all the time? It's annoying, says Harley. Paul Roman says, greetings. Big shout out to you from your friends in the States. Shout out to you, dude. Hope you are well. Yeah, so we are at our first commercial break. We do know a couple of segments, couple of matches. Got to say, the matches that have been announced so far, a little bit flat. A couple of tag matches that don't really mean much. Hopefully they don't stick around too long and they're not that big of a focus. I think the Bianca segment should be good. I'm guessing the main event is going to be Daniel versus Jay. Edge is going to be involved somewhere as well, so lots to look forward to. Kiera says, who will Bianca choose? I'm guessing it's going to be Sasha. So, Roman is not good all the time, says Bob. Bryan says, I want the Riot Squad. Where are you watching SmackDown? I'm watching it on One Sport, says Basti. It's on Fox in America, and it's on BT Sport here in the UK, and we're just about to go back to it now. Right, we're backstage with Jay, Roman, and Paul. Jay's apologizing to Roman, saying, I'm sorry if I jumped the gun. Roman's like, it's all right. Handle it. So he says to Jay, handle it. Right, here's Edge.
Think of it this way. If Daniel beats Jay tonight, then Roman puts the Universal Championship on the line at Fastlane. And no disrespect, the Universal Championship match, he knows as I do. It's a bigger attraction. That's it.
Okay, so I don't think Edge is happy. Yeah, that's not gone well. I mean, in a way, it does suck because, like, Edge waited to call out who he wanted at WrestleMania, and now he still doesn't know because the person he's called out looks like he's going to be defending it at Fastlane. So it could turn out to be Daniel Bryan versus Edge. It won't, but it could. So in storyline, Edge is a little bit miffed that he's finally made his decision, and now this kind of bump in the road has appeared. So interesting. Devillano Robinson, shout out to you. Right, we've got Otis and Alpha Academy, let's call them. Alpha Academy are here. Academy versus the Mysterios. Ray just ignored Dominic's fist bump, did he? Oh, I didn't see that. Lol. What an awful father. Right. So this was last week. So there was a few question marks about whether Otis had turned heel.
Going Ghost is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. Hey, what's up, Days? Hope you are well. Just turned on SmackDown. Did I miss anything good so far?
It's been good. I mean, you haven't missed anything massive. Basically, looks like we're going to get Daniel Bryan against Roman at Fastlane. That's still to be confirmed. We haven't seen graphics or anything, but I feel like we're heading that way. And now we've just got Otis coming down. There's a few boos that are being piped in for... Otis. So Otis and Gable taking on the Mysterios. And it looks like Otis is a heel now. He charges into Ray and he stands over Ray. Days, what do you think will happen once Jimmy returns? It's going to be interesting. I think there could be some resistance. Ultimately, they're going to be behind Roman, though. Jimmy might put up some resistance, but it's not going to work. We'll get the bloodline. Nice spear. Driving his shoulder into the ribs of Ray. Was Ray ever heel? I think he was in WCW. I can't remember him being heel in WWE. I honestly don't know about ECW. I would imagine not. So I can't recall him being heel. Oh, gutbuster. BBB Yipsy says my top 10 heels of all time: the Sheik, Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, Four Horsemen, Bobby Heenan, Vince McMahon, $1 Million Man, Randy Savage, Rick Rude, and Kurt Hennig. Days, what do you think will happen? We answered that. It's really hard to say what will happen when he returns. We'll have to see. I could see there being some resistance, though. Gable is in there with Dominic. We're 25 minutes into the show. Dominic going over to the corner. Chad Gable charging in after him. He goes face first into the middle turnbuckle. Dominic, nice. Tornado DDT, looking for a cover. 1, 2, and shoulder up. Oh, yes, you are right. Filthy animals. Shout out to you, Jason. Scott says, I think at Mania, it could be Dolph and Rude versus the Street Profits versus Otis and Gable versus the Mysterios. That could be cool. I wonder if that'll be a ladder match. Might be fun as a ladder match. A lot of high flyers in there. Knob Freeze says, imagine if Otis squashed a very tiny person like Hornswoggle. We saw that, actually. There was it King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2? No, 3, sorry, because he was in the main event of 2. I think it was at WrestleMania. He did a splash on a little person and ended their career. So we have seen that happen before. Was it Little Brook? I think his name was. His career ended because a big guy splashed him and he wasn't meant to. So it's very serious. Big splash by Otis. He gets the pin on Ray. And Alpha Academy are victorious. Is Otis going to continue his beatdown? Yay, says Butterspark. Days, do you think Carmella will be involved in the Bel-Air versus Banks storyline? Maybe. Daniel versus Jay. If Daniel wins, he gets the Universal Championship match. There we go. So it is going the way we thought. Big E stretched away. Obviously, those ring steps were dropped on top of him. And we're going to get a medical update, guys. A medical update on Big E. There is the man responsible. Apollo is backstage. Boom. Moda says, Days, Edge accidentally takes out Jay and Daniel tonight. Then Roman versus Daniel at Fastlane. Edge interferes and lets Roman win. Edge wins at WrestleMania, and then we let Daniel Bryan have a title shot. I mean, I wouldn't do that. I personally want Roman to be champion after WrestleMania. But, yeah, there's people that would definitely go for that, Moda. What do you think happened with Eva Marie's return? Hopefully some people came to their senses. Is Ray dead? I don't think he's dead. Days, remember that one time that the Nexus destroyed the Raw ringside area? Could the Nexus destroy the WrestleMania ringside area on night 2? No. I don't see Nexus coming back. I don't know why you would bring Nexus back, to be honest. I don't think a lot of those names are that big. I think Nexus is... It's got a bit of name recognition, but you would have to basically you've got to remember that was like 11 years ago now. It's a long time ago, the Nexus. And they weren't around for all that long. So even though, like, for hardcore fans, I think they would be into the idea of Nexus coming back, from a business point of view for WWE, it doesn't make much sense. I think there's probably better stories they can tell or focus on. So I don't see Nexus coming back. Apparently they were meant to come back last year, and they were meant to do Access. And were they? I've got a feeling they were meant to get involved in something, but I can't see it leading to like a big return. I really can't. In fact, I think Wade Barrett turned it down because it wasn't good enough. It wasn't something he felt was worth doing. So I don't think they've got any plans for anything major. Going Ghost, shout out to you. I'll wait for her to read it out. King says he's got New Day attire on. He has had New Day attire on. Oh, who? Apollo? I didn't see Apollo wearing New
Going
Day
Ghost
attire.
is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. The rumors are Dominic is going to turn on his dad. How would you feel if that happens? I'm not sure if I would be interested in that feud.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't feel that it's realistic. I don't see why he would turn on him, to be honest. Unless he gets frustrated of being seen as being in his shadow. But even then, I feel like there would be a long way to go till we got to him turning on him. It would feel a bit hotshot. It would feel a bit knee-jerk. It would feel a bit... It wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for me. Not unless we go through a very long story and he's tried everything. Then it would start to make a bit more sense. But right, here comes Apollo. It's nice attire. Is it New Day attire? I don't know. I suppose it's something I could see them wearing. Days, if Bianca versus Banks happens, who do you think would win? I would think Bianca. Days, it's my first time on your stream since last August. Welcome back, Everton, since 1998. Good to have you back, my friend. Days, is there a dog on the roof? Is there a dog on the roof? I have no idea what you mean, buddy. Matt says, people always turn on those they love to work with in the ring. Oh, Jericho, KO, things like that. Yeah, but I think your dad is a little bit different. I understand that brothers can fight, but like a father and son? I don't know. I don't know. Andres says it looks like Nigerian royalty. It's cool. It looks cool. Gamer Girl, AM Gamer Girl says, Days, I'm on the Thunderdome. And also thoughts on the WrestleMania card. Well, the matches that we've seen so far look really good. I'm into what I've seen so far. Right, Apollo is dropping the steps onto Big E. We're just seeing a replay. So that's why I'm not telling you of what's happening. There's nothing happening. This is all stuff from last week. So, yeah, I wasn't a fan of that segment. Apollo is going to be a killer. Right, smile on the face of Apollo. He's got Big E's scarf, is it, around? I don't know. I feel like this is like symbolic of something. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of passing me by. I don't quite get all this. Is it meant to be a reference of New Day? Okay, Apollo's cutting a promo. Let's get some answers. What if Bianca chooses Asuka? Be a good match, but I think they've been building Bianca Sasha a bit more. Apollo says, for far too long I've been nice. For far too long I've been humble. Bianca Bel-Air will announce her opponent tonight. Yeah. I'm not from the hood. Oh, I'm from Nigeria. I'm a real African American. This is the real me. I like this. This is good. I like this. Hey, Nigeria doing some good stuff at the moment. Makes me think of Kamaru Usman. Makes me think of Israel Adesanya. They're good things to be thinking about. 5 wives? This is who I am. These colors. Wealth. Dominance. And power. Good. I like this. Anthony Joshua is also Nigerian. Is he? I didn't know that. Omos is Nigerian. Is he? I went back to my roots. Ah, he's talking Afrikaans. Do you know what? I love that. I absolutely love that. It gives him a point of difference. This, like, proud Nigerian, covered in the Nigerian colours, green and white, colours of their flag. And I thought it was brilliant. Like, it really gives him something to get his teeth into. Really gives him something. And then, like, when he started to speak, like, in Afrikaans, and that was great. That was great. That was great. That's kind of character development that you dream of. So rather than him just being a guy that walks around smiling, now they've given him, like, Uha Nation. Yeah, that's what it used to be called, wasn't it? Uha Nation. Was that his gimmick when he was on the indie scene? Was he like, did he act more like African? Nigerian? Yeah, Uha Nation used to be his indie name. You are absolutely right. Who said that? That was fantastic. It was fantastic. Steve Bassam. Shout out to you, dude. You are absolutely right. I never saw him when he was Uha Nation, but I know that he was big, strong, dominant, powerful, but I don't know what his gimmick was. I love that. That was so good. That was so, so good. Isn't it Apollo just doing Kofi Kingston's old gimmick? No, well, Kofi's gimmick was Jamaican, wasn't it? And he kind of did it with a kind of a bit of a comedy, smile on his face, celebration. This is like a bit darker, a bit moodier. Yeah, and obviously Nigerian, not Jamaican. Monica said, this is what I wanted, to know more about the character, more than just talent. It's really good. Days, check my recent tweet right now. I'm losing my mind. What is it, Z2CU? Let us know. Apollo got the idea from Roman, says Jeremy. It's really good. Days, I think Ray turned heel for a brief period in '99 when he was not wearing the luchador mask in WCW. Ricky Steamboat is the only one I can think of that never turned heel. This is the Nigerian prince angle. Here's an angry Nigerian prince, says... well, I don't know if he's a prince. I don't know if he's kind of going for that, but... oh, I love it. Absolutely brilliant. I think they should use people's nationalities a little bit more. It's always the problem. The problem is the world's getting a bit more easily offended. That's the only thing. So it's like there's stuff that you just couldn't do now. You know, people will start accusing you of stereotyping and all this kind of stuff, and Twitter will have a field day if it even senses anything like that. If Twitter even senses that it's offended by something, then that's it. But I kind of feel like nationality is like really important, even if it's just people being proud of where they're from. You know, representing. Doesn't even need to be like because you're making fun of a nationality or anything. And they certainly weren't making fun of like Nigeria there. He was proud of his heritage, and it's brilliant. Gives him a backstory, something for him to explore. Harley says, good promo. He is actually pretty decent on the mic when he's a heel. The funniest line ever was Triple H asking Kofi, aren't you supposed to be Jamaican? Says Brad G. Days, would you allow this Lashley to be beaten clean by Roman at Survivor Series if both were champions? Yeah, I'd allow that, of course. I think it's important for heels to win clean. And I think that Roman is a bigger deal than Lashley. So if someone was going to win clean, then I think it would be better for Roman. Your food is now offensive because of not acknowledging the culture where it came from. Honestly, some of it is just madness. Okay, right, we're up and running with Apollo versus Nakamura. Best part about Triple H bit was that it led to Kofi being speechless. He had no idea what to do, says the list of Jericho. Darnell asks what you think Jimmy will do when he comes back. That seems to be a real topic of conversation. What will Jimmy do? Honestly, I don't think he'll do all that much. I mean, like, they could make a big story out of it, but I think we're moving on from that. I look to the future. You've got Roman and Daniel. You've got Roman and Edge. Pretty sure we're building towards Roman and Cesaro. Jimmy will come back, but will it be as big of a story as when Jay fought against Roman? I've got to say no, because it is more of the same. I know it's a different person, but I don't know that they're going to make as big of a deal out of it. He might stand up. They might get a couple of weeks out of him trying to stand up to Jay and Roman, but ultimately he's going to fall in line because he's on his own. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is just him against Jay and Roman. So I think they'll all ultimately fall in line. Days, imagine a Japanese stable of Nakamura, Io, and Asuka, says Febin. Harley says, that's suplex, though. It was tasty, wasn't it? Right, Nakamura and Apollo. Apollo into the corner. Nakamura wasn't there. Kick to the back. Nakamura picks up Apollo, hangs him on top of the ropes. Nice kick to the back of the head. And Apollo goes down. Nakamura, knee strike, comes off the ropes to shoulder up. Shoulder up by Apollo. Jimmy already recognized Roman as the head of the table. He said it and Roman acknowledged that, says Eric. Well, he did. He did to stop Jay from getting hurt. So they could easily have him come back and try to be defiant, be upset with the way things have gone. Could easily do that. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big storyline. Because I think it's just more of the same, to be honest. I think we've already had that story. To shoulder up by Nakamura. Days, do you think the Battle Royals at WrestleMania should have something so that it matters? Yes. Yes, the winner should get a title opportunity. Nice. Kick by Nakamura. Apollo goes back into the corner. Kick to the back by Nakamura. Rolls through, going for the slide-in German. There it was. Excellent work. He's quite close to the ropes, so referee wouldn't count it. Days, I think Apollo as a heel has got lots of potential, says Warsaw Till I Die. Moda says, Days, what happened to the Samoan dynasty? Wasn't that supposed to be the next greatest stable in wrestling? I don't know if it was meant to be the next greatest stable. I kind of feel like they can do a Roman Usos faction when Jimmy comes back. I don't know if it was meant to be the next big stable. Apollo was looking for a military press, but he couldn't quite get it. He has got his scarf in the corner, Apollo. Days, where do you get your hats and your beanies? Just anywhere. I don't really have like a special place. And just anywhere that sells beanies. 1, 2, 3. Apollo gets it. Apollo gets it. Apollo beats Nakamura. They did say that Nakamura was here now to start putting people over. Well, that has started tonight. Apollo Crews gets put over. Will Sonya return to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown? She's back. She's on SmackDown. She's doing a bit of behind-the-scenes booking. Well, in storyline. I don't think she's really booking. But she's like an authority figure working with Adam Pearce. Okay, we're backstage with Roman and Paul Heyman. Okay, so Paul Heyman is telling Roman. If Daniel wins tonight. I wonder if Roman will beat up Jay. Could you imagine that? Roman beats up Jay. Roman comes down to the ring, beats up Jay. Jay wins by DQ. That's what I would do if I was Roman. Beat up Jay. I remember when everyone thought Shinsuke would get a massive face run. The Samoan Dynasty, Rikishi and others, they took over an indie show like a year or so ago. They took over an indie show a year. I didn't even hear of it. So no, I didn't even hear about that. The Nico guy, shout out to you, says, Days, there was a botch when they first showed Apollo. At the bottom it said Roman versus Goldberg at WrestleMania. I did see some text on screen. I did see some text, but I didn't see what that text had said. Well, it said Roman Goldberg at WrestleMania. You ain't getting that match. No way. So that is just a botch. Days, imagine, hang on. Roman versus Goldberg was last year's WrestleMania, wasn't it? That was what we were meant to get last year. So it must be some texts from last year. I don't know why it would still be there, but that was what we were meant to get last year. Imagine a Japanese stable of... Oh, we read that. Let's go down. What did Roman mean by the tag match? They did advertise a tag match. It was meant to be Jay and Roman versus Daniel and Edge. And they've changed direction again. They did that before. Do you remember when it was meant to be Drew versus Sheamus for the title? And all of a sudden that match changed to Drew defending in Elimination Chamber. Well, there was meant to be a tag match, and it looks like that tag match has now been cancelled. So this is kind of their way of saying the match has been cancelled. We're going a different way. Darnell says, I would love an AJ Lee return. Jordan says, Man United, Chelsea, what are your predictions? Draw. A draw. I think Chelsea are doing some decent work now. They've got this new manager. There's a bit of buzz around the place. I think they'll be hard to beat. I think United are all right at the moment. Got a good win against Sociedad the other week. I mean, we played them again, but I don't think we really tried. It finished 0-0, but, you know, we played them last week and it was 4-0. I could see that being a draw, honestly. I think both teams are in good form and I think they could cancel each other out. I should imagine the draw is probably the favourite result as well. I can hear Riot Squad music. It's Liv versus Tamina. Oh, yeah, Billie Kay. Billie Kay, where's she? Right, Liv Morgan versus Tamina. Riot Squad, yes. Days, if you could choose one person, who would you sign? I'd sign Roman. Roman's the biggest thing in wrestling for me. Kick by Tamina. Liv goes down. We're about 9 minutes away from the halftime scores. There is Natalya, who's looking a little bit flashier than usual. Look at that. Red and black for Natalya. Slightly different look for her. Tamina throws Liv across the ring. Liv down in the corner. Tamina collides into Liv. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Liv. Ruby cheering Liv on. Back elbow by Liv. And again. Back elbow. Again. Liv goes down. Liv's doing some good selling. Fair play to Liv. She's really... Look at that. Open mouth. Really selling this this offense from Tamina. Nice suplex. 1, 2. Kick out again by Liv. I do like Liv selling here. Liv's doing some really good selling. Nice strike by Liv. And again. Gets slammed down. I hope we see Simpanold. Yes, Simpanold. Who do you think will win the Women's Battle Royal? I don't know until we know who's in it, to be honest. I mean, if Rhea Ripley's going to be in it, she'll win it. But I don't know if she's in it. Nice step up enziguri by Liv. Tamina goes down onto one knee. Tamina over in the corner. Into the corner goes Tamina. Nice drop kick there by Liv. Tamina goes into the corner. Big strikes. Right hands by Liv. Tamina reverses. Liv, middle rope. Missile drop kick. Down goes Tamina. Ruby Riott cheering on Tamina. Oh, cheering on Liv. Tamina kicks out. Liv will win a battle royal because she is the best, says to Boy. Bo needs to run down and save Liv, says Moda. I can't believe that. I still can't believe they live on a farm together. Samoan drop by Tamina. Tamina screaming. It feels like Tamina's going to get the win here. She's got Morgan up. That was rubbish. I don't know what that finishing move is, but not great. Days, are you watching Moxley and Kenta after? I was going to, but I got really confused as to how it all works. I thought it was on, I can't remember, whatever that channel is, Roku. I thought it was on there, but apparently it's on New Japan World, and I haven't got New Japan World anymore. Bianca is backstage, so we are just going to commercial break, and then we will be going to Bianca. No Billy? I know. No Billy in that segment. I'm hoping it means she's in a different segment. I'm hoping it means they've got something for Billy. Liv lost. She did lose. Bro, WWE always make Liv look weak. I'm done. Liv is the best. I don't think she's the best. I've not seen too much from Liv that has impressed me, to be honest. I think she's improving all the time. I think her selling in that match was great. I think she did some really good stuff last week. But the thing to remember about Liv is she's still so young. She's like 24, 25. I mean, she's still got like 20 years ahead of her. So I kind of think like she just needs matches. She needs to keep improving, keep putting it together. I mean, she is in such a great place. Yeah, I don't think they're looking to pull the trigger on Liv at the moment. But eventually they will. Eventually they will. And you know, hopefully she'll be ready when they do. Can she go and have like a great pay-per-view match? Great singles pay-per-view match? Can she go and do what Bayley does or Sasha does or Asuka can do? I don't know. I don't think she can. I think she's got good selling. I think she's got a few decent moves. But could she go and do a great match? I suppose it depends who she's up against. But I don't think we're quite there yet. Let's put it that way. We can get there. We can get there. I just don't think we're quite there yet. But she is doing some good stuff. There's no denying that. Her selling there was great. There's a few good moments that I've seen from her. I think she's definitely taken another step forward. But she's still got so much time. So I wouldn't worry about it. She's still got 20 odd years. If within WWE, she can go on to be a big player. No denying that. Liv is going to be one of the best on the roster, says Zach. Liv and Bo as a tag
Zach
team,
is a legend,
says Kieran.
They donated $2 via a super chat. Liv is going to be one of the best on the roster. She
could go on to be one of the best women. She absolutely could. If you think that Liv really should be in NXT, she came up way too early. But think about like the past couple of years where she's been on the main roster. You know, she's been getting figures out there. She's been getting her own little documentary on the network. Like, it is slow. There's no denying it is slow. But when you think about her age, you just kind of go, oh, do you know what? It's all right. Let her get to a point where she can like put matches together and she can do what Sasha does and do what Bayley does, and just keep building her, keep working with her, keep improving her. And then when it is time, yeah, man, she'll be good. She will be good. Right, we are about to go back. So we are back from the commercial break. Next commercial break, we'll do the half-time scores. Right, we've got Adam Pearce. We've got Sonya Deville. This is going to be the Bianca Belair announcement. This should be a good segment. The future is now. I wonder how Sonya feels about this, because like she is someone that competed and wanted these opportunities, and now she's having to stand there and introduce other women that are kind of achieving what she wanted to achieve. So I wonder how that feels. I wonder if she's pleased to just be on TV and have a job, or is she a bit frustrated, or I don't know. Right, here comes Belair swinging her hair away. She's got her WrestleMania shirt, which is cool. Says EST on the bit where it should. Can I just say, I know it's irrelevant, but I hate those boots. I hate those boots. These big boots that go all the way up to her knees, and then, but her toes are exposed. It's just, it's very high fashion. Higher than me. Bianca says, winning the Rumble has changed my life. Piped in, yeah. So who is it going to be? Okay, so a little video package on Asuka. Doesn't she get to choose EO? EO's not been mentioned, has she? I mean, Edge can choose NXT. So surely Bianca could choose NXT. I don't know why she would, but I hope they give it her as an option. So Asuka. Yeah. No. Or is it going to be Sasha? Or is it going to be Io? Edge isn't on any show. He's signed a part-time contract, says Adam. Days Kent and Moxley is on Fight TV straight after SmackDown. Oh, that's interesting. Is it free, James? Or do you have to be subscribed? That's interesting. I didn't realise it'd be on Fight. Let's have a little look at that then, shall we? Neither Io or Kaylee Ray has been mentioned. Right, here we go. The choices you make define who you are. My choice is clear. Carmella? Simpanold. It's Simpanold. Has he got his own entrance? Simpanold's got his own graphics. You saw first. I hate Simpanold. Flipping Simpanold making his way down, interrupting Bianca. We all know how hard you've worked to get here. If I'm Adam Pearce, am I not just telling this guy to do one? I don't understand. Isn't this guy just Carmella's sommelier? Like, what are you doing interrupting the show, Simpinald?
I know deep in my heart that if you decide to face Sasha Banks at WrestleMania, then that dream will dissolve quickly into a horrible nightmare.
Simpinald said if you face Sasha, your dream will dissolve into a nightmare. You will be haunted by your bad choice.
Singing in your ears. The choices you make will define you. And now, you're nothing but a loser.
You're nothing but a loser. And here comes the boss. Simpinald does not need to be a part of this, right? Simpinald is not helping this story. Sasha feels like a big deal now, doesn't she? I think the Mandalorian really helped her. She feels like a massive deal. Like when her music hits and she makes her way down, I feel like I'm watching a big, big star. He's a good speaker. It's $8. $8? I'm not made of money. She snatches the microphone away from Simpinald. Didn't I tell you? To never speak for me. And she pushes him away. He'll love that. He is loving it in the background. He's like, ah, what am I like? I'm more than a champion. I'm the standard. If you want to make history, be the talk of the conversation, then you should choose me. Sasha says, I'm the best. That makes you second best. And then she laughs, holds the belt up. Go. Yay! I love that. Go. I'm the B-E-S-T. So there we go. Done. So Sasha. Bianca points at the sign. It's on. There we go. And Simpinald. Look at him. There he is. He is loving it. Sorry, ladies. Sorry, ladies. Oh, what am I like? I just keep getting involved. Oh. Yeah, boy. The boss versus the EST. It's going to be awesome. Oh. It was obvious that she would choose her. Yeah, it was a bit obvious, but at least they did it fairly well. Right, tonight we've got Daniel versus Jey Uso. That is our main event. If Daniel wins, he wins a Universal Championship match at Fastlane. Scott says, Bel-Air will be a champion at Mania. That is how you book a star. Bianca Sasha at WrestleMania has been confirmed. It's going to be a good match. I just wish the story had some more heat. Well, it might do by the time we get there. Girl. Here's Sami and his documentary crew backstage with Corbin. Baron Corbin, what do you think about the conspiracy against Sami Zayn? Why are we tag partners? I wish Corbin was in his suit. He looked good in his suit. Anyone else realise that both Rumble winners have chosen the SmackDown champs, says Jaden. Mike says, Days, this WrestleMania has two of the best main events. Hopefully, both of those matches do main event. Hopefully, Sasha Bianca is the main event of night 1. And hopefully, Roman Edge main event's night 2. I don't know who Drew's facing or Miz. I mean, the rumours are Drew versus Lashley, but to be honest, I'd rather they go with Sasha and Bianca as the actual final match on night 1. Okay, Baron Corbin says, so Corbin said, I agree, we could win tag team gold with our talent. Are they going that way, do you think? Are we building towards Sami and Baron Corbin as a tag team? I don't know if I'd want that, to be honest. Days, I paid $19.99 for all 4 episodes of New Japan. It's $8.99 an episode? What? Forget that. $8.99 an episode. Why didn't you get New Japan World for like $9.99? That is crazy. Well, I've got it here. $7.99. Madness. Madness, I tell you. I think I paid $4.99 for 4 episodes of AEW. So that I'm able to watch that live. Zayn and Corbin. Right, get your halftime scores in. I think the show's been all right. It's been all right. Has it been better than Raw? Raw had a better week this week. I think it probably has been better than Raw, but I don't think actually by much. I just think the opening was really good. 7.5. 7.5 feels about right. 7.75. 7.6, yeah, seems like a lot of us are in agreement here. 7.9, 7. LD Cool says 7. Jason says 6.75. Sean Reset says 8.25. One Pump says 8. J14 says 7. Hayden says 7.05. Sonny says 6. Steve Wrestling Fan says 5. Brandon says 7.25. Carl says 7. Scott says 7.5. 7.5. 7. Warsaw Till I Die says 7.5. 7. 7.5. Wow. There's a lot of 7s and 7.5s. Mo Jones said, well, actually, she'll read it out. Laurie says 7. LSW says 7.5. Mark says 7. J14 says 7. John says 7.5. I think we're all getting a vibe here, aren't we? 7.5, 7.9, 6.5. XFL says 6.5. John says 7.2. Yes,
Mo Jones
yes.
Is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Is Corbin okay? He sounded so robotic.
I think he's okay. He looks okay. Bryan said 2 because Liv lost. Harley says, good show, great start, decent first match, good Apollo promo. Then a good match. Okay, Bianca Sasha promo. So a good show so far. I agree with that, actually. I agree that the Apollo segment, I really enjoyed that. Opening, I really enjoyed. Didn't need Mysterios against Otis and Chad Gable. But I suppose in a way it's continuing the Otis heel turn. Nakamura Apollo is a decent match. Yeah, I agree. This has been better than Raw. You won't spend $8 for the Moxley Kenta match. No, I'm not a big Moxley fan. I don't really rate Moxley that highly. Would I spend $8 to watch a Moxley match? No, is the answer. No, I wouldn't. I'll watch Kenta, but I wouldn't spend $8 to watch a Moxley match. And that would be the only reason I would watch it. My end score, 6.25 or 6.75. Ninus says, Days, the only reason that Reginald is defending Sasha is so Carmella can win the championship off of Sasha. I think he's just a simp, to be honest. Right, they're piping in. We want the smoke. Street Profits are in the ring as King Corbin makes his way down. Right, here comes King Corbin. We've only got 45 minutes left. We're always a little bit late doing the halftime scores because the commercial breaks are always about 10 minutes after. So, amazingly, there's only about 45 minutes left. This show has gone by quite quick. What is going to be the next story for Seth? Don't know. We'll find out. We should see Seth tonight. I'm guessing Cesaro. Okay, so Corbin and Sami coming down. The documentary crew coming down as well. Do you prefer heel or face Seth? I think Seth is someone that can work really well as either. I think he's a great babyface. But I think he's done really well as a heel here with this whole conspiracy thing. I just wish they had put more into the conspiracy thing. Like, why wasn't he number 1 in the Rumble? Why didn't he come out first at Elimination Chamber? Like, I kind of feel they could very easily build up the conspiracy idea. But they keep missing obvious things. We're starting with Sami Zayn. Sami complaining to Jessica Carr. She kind of really turned her nose up at him. She's like, let's get on with it, Sami. She was not impressed. Oh, did anyone see what the AEW game announcement was? Was it anything good? I've seen no buzz on that. I've seen nothing on it. I even forgot about it. But I understand that there was a game reveal. Is it just me, or does Jessica, the ref, always referee Sami? She does seem to be around Sami a lot. Yeah, she does. Days, I like Corbin. He just needs to get rid of the King thing. I agree with that, Kieran. Seth Rollins is best fit-in wrestler in face or heel, says King Dom. Days, Karrion Kross or Jon Moxley? Karrion Kross. I don't hate Jon Moxley. I liked him as Dean Ambrose. There's nothing about his AEW run that has grabbed me. Nothing about his championship reign grabbed me. I certainly wasn't tuning into AEW for him. I didn't see a great deal of buzz around him. We kind of spoke about that in the Observer Awards. I was surprised that he won that big award. We were speaking about who we would give it to instead, but kind of quickly realised there's not many people out there you would give it to instead of, so. Sami is going to pull a Britt Baker and call her a conspirator. Harley says Liv Morgan is 26. Yeah. So about 20 years still to go in wrestling for her. And also, is Women's Battle Royal and Andre Battle Royal confirmed yet? I've not seen them confirmed, no. Laurie says, isn't Montez the EST's hubby? He is. Yes, he is. Corbin down outside the ring. Sami outside the ring as well as we go to commercial break. King Don says, in the future, we might we get a Shield reunion? Yes, but I don't think for many, many years. I can't see Moxley leaving AEW for like 5-10 years. I think he's there for a long time. I can see Moxley doing with AEW what Kurt Angle did with Impact. You know, really being there for a long time, but then ultimately going back for one last run. I can see him going back and doing one last run with WWE, but not until like WrestleMania 45 or something like this. Get out of the way, said Corbin. It blew my mind when I learned that Vince required Corbin to keep his shirt on. Yeah, he did. He didn't think that Corbin's physique was all that great. So, yeah, he did ask him to keep his shirt on. Days, could they be saving Seth for main event? Do you know what that means? Do you mean the show main event? Or do you mean, like, the main event tonight where Seth comes down and what? You think Roman... Why would Seth get involved in that main event? If Seth attacks Daniel, then Daniel wins the match. Daniel just has to win tonight to get that match at Fastlane, so... I don't know why Seth would be involved in the main event. Days, the AEW casino game came out today. Ah, that might help you with your betting problem. Oh, right, so one of the games actually came out. I don't think, was anyone really that excited about the casino game? I might check it out. Is it, so you're telling me it's available now? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Google Play. No, not Google Pay. Google Play. Or Play Store as it's known now. What is it? AEW. AEW. I can't see it. If I put in AEW, it just comes up with like some news sites. So perhaps it's not out in the UK yet. Ooh, I don't know. AEW wrestling game. No, nothing yet. Nothing that I can see. You would imagine it would show up if you put in AEW. No, don't know. Have to let me know if anyone's managed to find it and download it yet. Austin said, I had a dream that Days made a bet on UFC and lost again. It's heartbreaking. Days, women's careers do not last nearly as long as men's. They have kids and are pretty much done by their early 30s, with the exception of a handful, so she might have less than 10 years. Well, I disagree. I think that she can have 20 years. Now, if she chooses to go and have a family and take a year out, then that's obviously up to her. But there would be nothing stopping her coming back if she wanted to. I mean, like, there's nothing physically denying her having a career for 20 years. So it's up to her, isn't it? Montez getting up to his feet, trying to make the tag, and he does. Clothesline, down goes Sami. And again. Duck underneath, against the ropes goes Dawkins. Nice back elbow. Mike asks, do you still collect the action figures? I do and I don't, to be honest. I appreciate them, and I like them, and I still like going on toy hunts for them. but I've never been someone that's really wanted to get them away from the channel, if that makes sense. Like, I really enjoy the collection, and collecting the figures was something I enjoyed sharing on the channel. It was sort of a journey in a way. I mean, like, if you go back to my early videos, you'll see I didn't have that many figures. Like, the very first video I do, there's about 10 figures behind me. That is all I had of Mattel. I did have Hasbros. I did have some LJNs and whatever, but my Mattel collection was next to nothing when I first started the channel. And so getting figures, going on toy hunts, doing reviews, all of that kind of stuff kind of grew as the channel grew. So I don't really like doing it away from the channel because, as I said, it did feel like a journey. So I do still collect them. I do still want to do toy hunts, but just the pandemic got in the way. But like ordering tons of stuff away from the channel, it's not really my thing. Street Profits have beaten Sami Zayn and King Corbin. So it's the right result. Proper tag team getting a proper win. Street Profits win. Yeah. Corbin pushing around the documentary filmmakers outside of the ring. Jimmy Uso is trending on Twitter. That's cool. Is he due back or something? People think that he's going to get involved in the main event, maybe? It's not on Android yet. Oh, okay. We want the smokers being piped in. Bit of arguing between Corbin and Sami. Michael Cole says this is great footage for the documentary. Right, we're backstage with Kayla Braxton. And here's Daniel Bryan. Efren, shout out to you, my friend. Days, Lacey is pregnant and 30. And Monday, you said we not see her again because she's having a kid. Do you remember that? I said we might not see her again because she's off having a kid. Yeah. But she could come back. She's already had a kid and gone into wrestling. She seems to be someone that, you know, was in the Marines, obviously started a family, but still went into WWE. So I feel like she's quite an independent person. I feel like she's someone that, you know, does something and then like moves on. Not that you move on from having a kid, but like I can see her having a kid and coming back. But yeah, I mean, there's no guarantees, but there's no guarantees with anything. I don't think it's right to say that women's careers are shorter because they might have kids. I disagree with it. I think that they can go and have kids, but they can have kids and come back. They could have kids and not come back. But I don't know that you can say women's wrestling careers are shorter because they could go off and have kids. I disagree with that. We've got Daniel and Edge. Daniel says this is all irrelevant if I don't beat Jay tonight. So it's building up our main event. We've got Seth Rollins coming out. The SmackDown Savior. Andre the Giant shirt, yes. Seth making his way down to the ring in white. He's got white trousers, white jacket. He's still coming down to his Burn It Down music, which I'm quite surprised they haven't changed yet. Right, well, there we go. Seth coming down. Seth Rollins. Is it a promo? I don't know. I don't think they've announced a match, have they? Days, I think you forgot how awesome his feud with Jericho was when he went for the championship initially. I have forgotten, actually. Yeah, I can't even tell you if it was good or bad or anything. I can't remember. I genuinely cannot remember. Jordan said, who would you rather have, Haaland or Declan Rice? I would rather have Haaland, but I think we probably need Declan Rice more. But I'd go Haaland. If I had to choose, I'd go Haaland. Are they planting seeds for Bryan versus Edge at Mania? I don't think so. I think it's just a little bump in the road. Fiend has frozen. The Fiend. Freezing on my end. Oh, what? A little bit of lag? I think it must be YouTube. Days, any interest in the next UFC figure wave? Little bit of interest. I think the figures look all right. I suppose the problem is they don't look good enough to get me to really invest in a whole new series of figures, to be honest. I kind of look at some of them. It's like the Khabib doesn't look great. A Nunes doesn't look great. Some of them look great, and Ngannou looks great. But yeah, some of them don't look that great, to be honest. So it's difficult because I do want to get them, but they don't feel essential. I think that's the best way of wording it. They don't feel essential. Seth's in the ring. Okay, so the letter that he wrote got a big response, apparently. He said it was trending. Here comes Cesaro. So Cesaro making his way down. Cesaro is not messing around. He throws his shirt off. He's storming his way down to the ring. Seth says, take it easy. We go back a long way. He says, trust me. 28 minutes to go. All right, Seth says, a couple of weeks ago, it was an accident. I said you was a loser because of the situation that you were in. So Seth is kind of pleading with Cesaro. Stay there. Like the star that you are. He's trying to creep around here. He's trying to win him over. Who says you can't grab the brass ring? Vince. Vince said that. That brass ring still comes up, doesn't it? That was such a significant moment in Cesaro's career. Like when you tell Cesaro's story, history, you're going to have to mention that brass ring comment from Vince. Friend to friend. Why is it that you always seem to come up short? Why is it you always seem to come up short? What are you missing? I'll tell you. He's got it. Killer instinct. That's what Cesaro is missing. I can give it to you. I like this. There's going to be a lot of people that like this. Seth says he's accomplished everything. He's got the killer instinct and he wants to give it to Cesaro. This is good. Cesaro looks like right said Fred, says Moda. Side by side on SmackDown, we would be unstoppable. So Seth wants Cesaro as a new disciple. A disciple. Disciple. That's what people would call him. Haaland Chelsea is close. We will make a bid for 90 million next week. You guys have got just crazy money. I mean, you spent how much last summer? Embrace the vision. Let me lead you. What do you say, old friend? He's having a think. He's having a think. How can I watch SmackDown on my phone? I don't know, bud. Depends where you are. I mean, if you're in the UK, you can watch it through the BT app. If you're in America, maybe... Has Fox got an app? Takedown by Cesaro. Seth is saying no, put me down, but he's getting swung. Cesaro swinging. Seth's got his arms out. And he's going again. Look, Cesaro shakes his head. He wants to swing him some more. That's good. That's good by Seth. Seth had his jacket out like this. And he was holding his jacket. That looks like a really good swing. Seth is... Do you know what? It's Seth that's doing a lot of work there. Normally, when people get swung, they put their arms by their head like this. Seth is doing whatever he can to make it look more impressive. He had his jacket flying away. He's got his arms flailing out. Everything Seth did then made that look even bigger. Made that look even funnier. Seth deserves credit for that. A lot of people, when they get swung, just do this. But he had his jacket coming off and he was like flailing away. It's good. It was good. Right, Daniel Bryan is making his way down for our main event. Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso. It's been good tonight. Cesaro is such a bad wrestler, and he's bad on the mic, says Shaq versus Amos. I have never heard anyone say that Cesaro is a bad wrestler. I seriously don't think I've ever heard that said before. Each to their own. How dizzy do you think Cesaro gets from that? I should imagine he does get a bit dizzy. His jacket flew off. I loved it. Moda says that looked like a fun ride. What's the point in this match? Well, if Daniel wins, then he will get his title match at Fastlane. If he doesn't, then he won't. Dave in real life, shout out to you. What woman had the longest career in WWE? Well, I don't know if Moolah counts, but Moolah had a 50-year career, something crazy like that, 60-year career. But she was obviously outside of WWE and inside of WWE as well. But I mean, women's wrestling just hasn't been treated with the respect that it's deserved, has it? I mean, if you think about the Attitude Era and like bra and panty matches and things along those lines, we haven't really had a women's wrestler that has been able to kind of stay with WWE. So it is a bit of an unknown, but I mean, there are women's wrestlers out there that have had decades and decades long careers. I mean, look at the women over in Japan as well. People like Aja Kong, who's still competing now. I mean, how old's Aja Kong? She's got to be. I mean, she was wrestling late 80s, so she has got to be early 50s, late 40s, early 50s. But yeah, I mean, with WWE, we haven't really seen it because of the fact that women's wrestling just hasn't been given the respect that it deserved. Can I just say, I love this Peloton ad. The music from this Peloton ad. I love this tune. It's like my favorite new tune. This Peloton ad is fire. For those in the UK watching, I love that tune. Apparently it's on the Ministry of Sound annual, that track. And that is one of my favorite albums every year. I think I've got them all. I haven't got the 2021 annual, but I think I'm pretty much got all of the Ministry of Sound annuals. That is a tune. Me too. It gets you going, that Peloton track. Do you know what? I loved it so much. I even found it on YouTube Music. I use YouTube Music now rather than Spotify. It's called Roses by St. John. And honestly, check that. Straight up, it is my favorite song. It's a sick tune, man. You already know. Right, Talking Smack advert. Massive episode of Talking Smack coming up. We are back to SmackDown. We got Daniel Bryan in the ring. And here comes Jey Uso. Mo Jones says, to be fair, Seth was making some good points. He was making some good points. Cesaro definitely does need some killer instinct. I think he is a little bit pedestrian at times. But no, it's good. It's good that he's in this feud. I think him against Seth is a great feud for Cesaro. So, yeah, I like it. See where it leads. Hopefully a great match at Fastlane. And who knows, maybe something at WrestleMania. I'll have to see. Mae Young was also a women's legend. Days, who do you think will dethrone The Miz? It could be Lashley. I could see Lashley beating Miz, and then that means Lashley goes into WrestleMania as champ, and then we get Lashley Drew. It feels like a decent way forward. This match is going to be trash, says Basti. Do you think Roman needs new music? Yeah, I'd have new music. I think he's even said that they are looking at it and they are trying to come up with something, but it just takes time. Working on the arm of Jey Uso. Nice kick coming in by Daniel. Lashley versus Brock at WrestleMania. They could go that way. Daniel working on the arm of Jey Uso. We've got another commercial coming up in a few minutes. And then we'll be into the final segment. Into the corner goes Daniel. Over the top. Against the ropes. Duck underneath. Nice clothesline. And Jey Uso goes down. So Daniel in control. Do you get the feeling there's going to be a bit of skullduggery here? It's going to be something suspect that's going to go down. Nice big kick by Daniel. Surely Roman can't trust that Jey is going to get this job done on his own. I think he knows that he's going to need a bit of help. Going Ghost, shout out to you. When is Revolution? Not that far, is it? I think it's like next. I don't know actually. When is Revolution? Got delayed till early March, so a couple of weeks. Daniel going for a pin and kick out by
Ghost
Jay.
is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. I think it's great to see Cesaro getting pushed. He deserves it, but I think he is better as a heel. Why do you think they turned him face to push him?
I think because he does get crowd support. I think people do want Cesaro to succeed. He is kind of like, if you used to talk about where's the next Kofi Mania, who's the next person that's like never got that opportunity that fans would love to see succeed, I think Cesaro wins that poll. I think if you was to genuinely ask people that question, who never got the opportunity they should have to been a world champion and you'd love to see succeed, I think Kofi was a name who achieved it a few years ago, and I think Cesaro would win that poll. So I think Cesaro section, like the hardcore fan support, it's definitely his time. So I think they've turned him face because they know the fans will be behind him. Put him in a program with Seth. It should result in some killer match. Imagine them matches. I think it's brilliant for both guys. This is like the perfect feud. It's the perfect feud because Seth is a heel and really needs some great matches to remind people how great he is. Cesaro is a face and needs to get to that next level, so he needs a great feud against someone like Seth. It's just perfect. It's perfect. I would book the same, to be honest. I would definitely book the same. So, yeah, I think that I'm on board with it. I'm on board. I think he's a good heel, but I think he works as a face as well. He can just be a little bit pedestrian at times, that's all. That was hilarious. Seth getting swung, making that noise whilst his jacket came off. Jimmy Uso is rumoured to be returning tonight. Jimmy said it on Twitter. He said maybe. Oh, well, if he said that, then he won't be. If anyone that says that, yeah, if they tease something on Twitter, it ain't happening. So if he has teased on Twitter he's coming onto the show, then he won't be on it. Days Whitaker versus Costa Sunday 18th on a fight night. That will be awesome. I am all for Cesaro getting a push to a title, but Shinsuke should be pushed before he retires. He is a living legend and might not have many years left, says VSW. Junior Simpson says, I want to see Fiend versus Undertaker. I don't think you will, bud. I think Undertaker has definitely gone now. I think he's done. John says, Days, did you see Miz said in an interview to expect the unexpected for Raw? Well, he was definitely on the phone to someone. So let's see. Let's see what Miz has got up his sleeve because he definitely did call someone. I like Turtles. Shout out to you. Says, good show so far. Yeah, we got 12 minutes left, and it has been a decent show. SmackDown, doing SmackDown things. So, yeah, I agree. It has been a good show. Harley, shout out to you. Robert, shout out to you. Do you think Edge will win at WrestleMania? I think it's a great match. I think it's hard to say which way it will go. And I would be rooting for Roman, to be honest. But yes, Edge probably goes in as favourite. So, advert for Raw. We came to collect. Miz versus Bobby Lashley. WWE Championship match. Raw. Raw feels big. They did a better show on Monday. And now, this week, we've got Miz Lashley Miz saying expect the unexpected, but more exciting than that. Because even if he was saying that, I'd be like, whatever. They're just trying to bump the rating. But he was shown on the phone to someone. So they did definitely plant a seed. So Raw is going to be big. Raw is going to be big. Days tomorrow, I'm going to become a member. Shaq Omus, shout out to you. There's no need to donate £30, dude. Treat yourself instead. Will Seth come on tonight? He's just been out, bud. He was just talking to Cesaro before this. Right, against the ropes goes Daniel. 10 minutes to go. Samoan drop by Jay. Shoulder up by Daniel. Could Miz join Hurt Business? I don't think so. I can't see that. I think MVP is really into what Lashley's doing, so I don't know why he would turn his back on Lashley and bring in The Miz. Unless The Miz is like, I'm the champion. If you take me in, you'll have the champion in your ranks, or I don't know. It wouldn't work for me. Right, Jey Uso down. Daniel firing in a kick to the chest. And again, he's firing in the yes kicks. Jey Uso flopping all over the place. Days, if Vita Belfort was still around, he would wreck the whole middleweight division. He was serious, man. Still can't believe what Anderson Silva did to him. Against the ropes goes Daniel. Oh, I thought he was going to do a suicide dive, but he actually went legs first through the ropes. Jey Uso goes down. Daniel on the edge of the ring. Flying knee. Jey Uso goes down. 8 minutes to go. This hoodie isn't anything. I don't even know where I got it from, to be honest. I wish I could say, oh yeah, this is Imperium, but it's not. Dave in real life, see you later, bud. Daniel Bryan landing on his feet into the corner. Oh, that was nasty. Jey Uso stomping down on the back of the leg. And now a single leg Boston Crab by Jey. So they're really selling this leg injury. And Jey Uso with a drop kick and then a single leg Boston. Oh, painful. Daniel trying to claw his way over to that bottom rope. Jey dragging him into the middle of the ring. Days, Brock should return next week to set up Brock versus Lashley. It was already a big match, but now with Lashley's monster character, that is what you call WrestleMania. Shaq Omer says, do you ever play with your figures? Have you ever played with them? The only time I've ever done anything is for a video. Other than that, I tend to just have them on display. To be honest, I really like how a lot of them look. And I like the little details and the little accessories. And kind of when you play with them, they can get a little bit battered and worn. And I don't know. I much prefer just having them like on display. But we have done stuff with them on the channel before. But I can't say I have any plans to do anything with them anytime soon. Going Ghost, shout out to you. Maybe Miz was on the phone to AOP. I love that.
Going Ghost is a legend.
I love that.
They donated $5 via a super chat. This statement may be unpopular, but The Miz is underrated. He is great on the mic, and he has really grinded from the real world to where he is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I think the only problem is his booking. He's not booked as this credible champion, serious He's booked as this awful comedy. Just awful. It's just awful. His booking is awful. So it just doesn't make him feel like serious or legit now that he's champ. Daniel Bryan pops up. Knocks Jey Uso down. Jey Uso was climbing up in the corner. If Brock and Lashley was to happen, I wouldn't want Brock losing, to be honest. I would like him to return and lose, considering we haven't seen him in almost a year, says Brony. Superplex. Rolling into the yes lock. He's trying to get the yes. And Jey managing to get to the ropes. So Jey is struggling and battling on. Weren't AOP released a while back? I don't know if they were released. I don't know. Were they? I honestly can't remember. I love AOP. I know that one got injured and was out for a while, but I can't remember if they were released. They'd be great with Miz, though. Kind of like his own personal J&J security. Double count out. That was a fast double count out. I don't feel like they were out the ring for all that long. So, double count out. I kind of like that finish, in all fairness. I thought it was a bit predictable that Daniel would win. So, didn't see a double count out come in. Here's Roman. Roman beating up on Daniel. So, Roman beating up on Daniel. That's sure to bring out Edge. Oh, he's got the yes lock applied, but a kick by Jey. We know that Edge is there. We know that Edge is backstage. Daniel Bryan slowly getting up to his feet. And a big spear. Daniel Bryan goes down. Oh, now the guillotine applied. Roman with some Air Jordans on as well. Roman choking out Daniel. So, where was Edge? Roman says to Daniel, this is mine. No sign of Edge. No one. Show fades to black, and that is the end of the show. A very solid show. Very, very solid show. Maybe lacking, like, OMG moment. We did get the announcement from Bianca about Sasha being her chosen opponent, which I think was predictable, but we still got confirmation of it. The Apollo thing was great. The Roman, the story throughout tonight was great. It's really solid, man. Edge hasn't got time for that. Edge is in bed with Lita, so he couldn't do a run-in. Well, that was that. Ended too early, says Moda. There's maybe a triple threat at Mania. Would I be surprised? I might be surprised. I think they would only do a triple threat if they really don't think that Edge can do a one-on-one match and they need to get someone else in that match. I mean, don't get me wrong. Roman versus Daniel versus Edge. What a match that would be. Lister Jericho said, so it's a draw. What does that mean? It means no match for Daniel. I mean, he had to win to get that title opportunity. So I do like that. 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7, 7, 5, 7. Bad ending. 9.79, 8.2. Today was worse than Monday, says CJM. Austin says 7.5. James Hoffman says 8. Maybe the three-way will take place at Fastlane. 775 says today. 8.25 says Stephen. Jonathan says worst SmackDown in a while. I don't know, you know. I think SmackDown, last week's SmackDown was not brilliant. I think last week's SmackDown wasn't brilliant. I think this was better. I think that we did get some stuff here. I thought the Apollo character development was excellent. This story is interesting. We've got Daniel in the mix, which is quite interesting. We know what Bianca's doing. Some of the matches didn't really need, to be honest. So far from perfect, but it was all right. It was all right. Trini says 8. Grim Reality says 7. Scott Turner says 7.5. 7.75, 7.5. This SmackDown was better than last week for sure. No Billy Kay. You're right. Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. No Billy Kay. Oh, well, I mean, that puts us straight down into the 2s and the 3s. And there's no denying this. That is, you are right. That is an absolute disaster. No Billy Kay, guys. No Billy Kay and her resume. 7, 7.5, 8.7, 9.5, 3 out of 10. I'm going to say that this, I think most people are giving it 7s. I do think this was better than Raw. So I'm torn between 7.25 or 7.5. That's where I'm at. 7.25 or 7.5. I'll go 7.25. Could go 7. Could go 7.5. Really could. The show had no Billy Kay. Well, yeah. I mean, that is why I'm down on 7.25, and they should be grateful for that. In all fairness, because you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
Going Ghost is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat.
Going Ghost.
My prediction for next week main event: Jay and Roman versus Daniel and Edge. That would be epic. What do you think?
That was meant to be this week, I think. So yeah, they could delay it a week. The only thing is, how are we getting to Fastlane? I mean, we've still got time, and I'm sure the match will end up being Roman versus Daniel. So I think we get there eventually. So yeah, they could definitely do that tag match. They could definitely do it. 675 says R. Stovall. I feel bad for Billy Kay, says Raw Toys. I feel bad for Billy Kay. I think she deserves better than what she's getting at the moment, because what she's getting is not that great. What happened in the last match? It was a double count out, and then afterwards Roman attacked Daniel. That was smart by Jay to get counted out like that. He knew he couldn't pin Bryan. I bet Roman told him to do that. Heather, shout out to you. Have fun. AM Gamer Girl says, Days, if Edge wins on night 2, it would have been exactly 10 years since he had to retire. How fitting. I would build that up. I would make that a massive story. Real feel good. Like as Edge is coming down, I'd have shots of Beth. I'd have Edge's family in the front row. And then I'd have Roman win. Because I think Roman as a heel is more money and more important to the business than Edge as a face and being the champion. Because I think you could go either way, and I think you're right. It's a big story. Finally getting back to the top of the mountain, all that kind of stuff. But I just think what they're doing with Roman right now is perfect. To be honest, I wouldn't change anything. I think it's perfect, and I think there's so many stories you can still tell. And you know, if Edge gets the title, I don't think it's going to be a long title run for Edge. This kind of feels like his last run. So you know, I kind of feel like chasing the title is more important. I don't know. It's so hard. They could absolutely put it on Edge. Absolutely put it on Edge. He would go in as favorite as well. Surely he would go in as favorite. But nothing would change my mind. Nothing will change my mind that Roman should retain. But I do like that fact. 10 years to the day that Edge had to give up the title, and then he wins it back at WrestleMania. I mean, it's a PR dream, isn't it? It's a PR dream. All them, it's big, yeah. But I'd build it up and then have him lose. No Bailey tonight as well, says Lauren. That's a good shout. Yeah, no Bailey. Brony said, Edge can get a title shot whenever he wants. It doesn't have to happen at the cause of Roman losing. Days, maybe we will do Edge Bryan at Fastlane and the winner faces Roman at Mania. Well, I mean, Edge has won. I don't know why Edge would defend that. He's won. He's won the Rumble. He's won the right. So, I know we have seen it before, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd tell that story. Two faces. Don't know. What do you do when someone keeps DMing you tweets, telling you to retweet and like them? Can't say I've really had that, to be honest. Sapphire says, Days, I've got a nickname for you. Is it Mr. Awesome? I think it's Mr. Awesome, isn't it? Edward, shout out to you. I hope there will be Drew versus Roman at the next Mania. Yeah, that would be good. Drew Roman would be awesome. Rock Roman would be awesome. Obviously, Big E Roman would be awesome. Cesaro Roman would be awesome for the title if Cesaro gets past Seth Rollins. There's so many matches you can do with Roman. And you know, I suppose you don't need the title, but it would help if he had it. Bailey versus Becky would be good. That would be incredible, yes. Is Edge still an active member of the Raw creative team? I honestly don't know. LSW, enjoy it. Moxley versus Kenta. Amir says, Days, have you realised that at AEW last week, Moxley said that it would be a good way out? Does that mean he will leave? Unlikely, but thoughts? My thoughts are he's with AEW. I expect him to be there in 5 years' time. And I think anything he says like that is just to get a buzz. I think there's a lot of things that have been teased and said and, you know, just to create a buzz on Twitter. I think they constantly are looking for that buzz, for that free press, for that free promotion. Like, if you think about the wrestling fans and Twitter and trending, like, if you can do something or say something that's going to get a buzz, it's just, I mean, like, you can't really put a price on that free promotion, having all of them people tweeting and talking about you. So I think wrestling companies are constantly trying to find a way to get that buzz. And I think it's nothing more than that. I saw a rumor on Twitter that Charlotte wants to fight Becky. I'm not sure if it's real. It might be fake. Amir says, Days the Blaze. Guys, they want you to feel down about the ending. Do you think Roman cares about your entertainment? He wants to wreck everyone and leave. Yeah, I think people were probably expecting Edge to come out or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I've got no issue with that ending. In fact, I like the fact that Daniel didn't just win, because I like the fact we're not doing the most predictable thing anymore. So the fact it was a draw, it makes you go, well, what does that mean? Well, do you know what? Tune in next week because you'll find out. Like, this is good storytelling. So it's a good story that's being told, and you know, it's not always the obvious story as well. So yeah, it's good. Jordan says, just came back from playing football. It's 3 a.m. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing you're in the UK then, or because it's 3 a.m. here right now. Billy was off making more resumes, says William. There we go, yes. Hopefully she was signing resumes and they're about to be sold on WWE Shop. That's what I would hope for. Julie asks, who won the last match? It was a draw. It was a draw. I think we're about done, aren't we? I think we are about done. Stuck around for a little bit. Shared our thoughts. Andres saying, what will you stream on Sunday? So, let's talk about that. Tomorrow, we are streaming UFC. big UFC show. Heavyweights in the main event again. Sunday, we will do a retro watch-along. I want something good. I want something tasty. I want something that's exciting. So it could be a WrestleMania. I want something big. I want whatever the dream pay-per-view is for us to stream. That's what I want for Sunday. So I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. We've already done WrestleMania 17, which is regarded as the biggest and the best. So we've not done 18, though. I don't think. We've done 19, but I don't think we've done WrestleMania 18. So my gut feeling is something like that. Because 18 gets a lot of love. 20, we could do WrestleMania 20. That's a big deal as well. I'd need to look and see how long WrestleMania 34 is, because amazingly, I don't think we were doing watch-alongs. I don't think we did a watch-along for 34. So WrestleMania 34 is the closest WrestleMania that we never did a watch-along for. If it's around 4 hours, I would do it. If it's over 4 hours, I would probably not. And I've got a feeling it's going to be definitely over 4 hours. So I'd have to have a look and see how long that one goes for. I don't know. I'll put a poll up with some options and we'll see what comes through. But yeah, we'll see what the options are. But I'm looking for big. I'm looking for the best. I want the creme de la creme. So we'll see what... keep an eye out on the Resting Days Twitter and we'll see what poll goes up. Days, you should do the most bought WrestleMania. Well, that would be 28, I think. I've got a feeling 28 or... Yeah, I think 28 was the most bought, which was Rock versus Cena. It was so well received, they ended up doing it again, didn't they, at 29? So 28, once in a lifetime,
Wacky
you'll never see it
is
again.
A legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chat. Days do the most bought WrestleMania.
Well, that would be 28. Cena versus The Rock. So that's an interesting option. 28's an interesting option. We've never done a watch long for 28. 28 is also end of an era. So that's not a bad shout at all. William says, WrestleMania 40? Brad says, Great Balls of Fire watch-along confirmed. Sorry, I couldn't be in the stream. No worries, Kyle. Shout out to you. Do a WrestleMania 24 watch-along for Edge versus Taker. 24 is an interesting one as well, actually. Yeah, there's some interesting ones being thrown around. 28, 24, maybe 18. I think there's no denying the biggest ones are going to be WrestleManias. So I could see it largely being WrestleManias. I'm trying to think if there's like any massive ones that are non-WrestleManias, but I don't think so. That was a good SmackDown. It was. Right, well, look, rather than sitting here debating what we're going to watch, we'll figure it out and I'll put a poll up for it. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And with that being said, we are done. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed SmackDown. Thought it was a decent show this week. Pretty much as always. As we said, we're back tomorrow for UFC. Back on Sunday for whatever that watch-along is going to be. Monday for Raw. And what a Raw that's going to be. WWE Championship match. Miz versus Lashley. And seems like we might be getting a sexy little surprise. So who was Miz on the phone to? We're going to find out on Monday. So awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate the support. And hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.